Wow. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. I was almost late to my own stream, but just a little. Yeah, hello. Good evening. Hello, hello. How are we doing tonight? How are we doing? I ran to get everything set up because I, for some reason, fucked up my timing tonight. But this is fine. It's exactly 8 p.m., which means I am on schedule. And also Steam is trying to download something that is killing my entire connection. Why would you do that to me? Brrr. How are you all doing? Overslept? No. I just got up too late from the dinner table and everything. And now Fatal 12 was like, I need to be in front. No, you shall not look at anything else on your entire computer because fuck you. That's why. Okay. I wish I could sleep until this late at night. I wish. Sadly, I cannot. Also, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if my voice sounds a bit off today. Earlier today, for some reason, I like choked on air, and ever since then, I feel something in my well, somewhere in my throat, and it doesn't feel nice, but I don't know how to get rid of it. I keep drinking a lot, so I hope it'll go away. You feel sick, so you're just trying to take it easy. Oh god, yes, do that. Feeling sick is not nice. Oh, my glasses are... Oh, looks like they're actually... Okay. Well. Of course, we cannot forget our best friend, Duolingo. I swear. This is not a thing I am trying to make a funny running joke. Ahaha, I always forget about Duolingo, but I legitimately forget to like change the timing and do it before I stream. God damn it. Happy birthday news today at least. Absolutely, me too. Like, I got home and I saw someone say, it was like, huh? No, a friend actually DM'd me on Discord, was like, hey, did you see? And I'm like, what? Animal Crossing. Yeah, Animal Crossing is coming out. No. Ace Attorney, Great Ace Attorney is coming out. And I read that like 3 times, was like, for real? Like, is this your late April Fool's joke? But no, it's real. We're getting Great Ace Attorney. Officially. Capcom! Woo! I feel bad for the people that did like that fan translation and everything, but like, what? We're getting it. I can finally play those games. I have not played them yet. I don't know anything about them, and I also need to catch up on like the rest of the series. I have not finished playing Spirit of Justice, and I started in 2000, like late 2017 or sometime during 2018. I don't actually remember anymore, and I still have not finished that game, so I should do that before my 3DS like completely dies at some point. Dual audio. I mean, no, they don't have a lot of voice acting. To be quite honest, I actually prefer the Ace Attorney games without voice acting. Like in Ace Attorney versus Phoenix Wright. Ace Attorney versus Phoenix. Yeah. In Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Phoenix and Maya were completely voiced. And because I liked I like the German voice acting for Professor Layton more than the English voice acting. I played those games in German. It just feels more natural to me, even though they're obviously like British and stuff, but still. I just like it more. I like the voices more. But the voices they had for Nick and Maya, like, I am sorry, I bet those voice actors tried their hardest, and like, it's not their fault, but they sounded fucking awful. Like, I imagine a lot of voices for Phoenix and Maya, but not those two. Oh, come on. What? Let me rant about voice acting without dying, please. There, there we go. This was my brain lagging for a moment there. Anyway, I like in Ace Attorney games, I like it better when they have that kind of voice. You know, just a clickety clack typewriter's noises and not actual voice acting. Like, aside from the objection stuff, that's all fine, but everything else is like, please don't talk. I'd rather imagine you not having a voice. Good morning, gamers. Hello. Ace Attorney vs Phoenix, right? Yeah, you might. Sometimes I say things that don't make sense. Sometimes I may say things that don't make sense. Okay. Okay. Now let's look at the game we're actually trying to play tonight, which is Fatal 12. Yes, exactly that way. That is how you pronounce it. Last time we stopped right here, where a nameless kid then took off and was like, wee. So we are still sitting here with our best friend, who may or may not plan on killing all of us. Well, obviously he does, but like, I wonder what his backstory will be. Like, oh no, because he wants it to be over so fast. So I imagine he's under quite some time-sensitive whatever thingy, Mr. CEO. I'm so sorry for my voice. Alan sits silent. The only action of note is when he blinks. I thought I'd be okay, but it's starting to get to me.
Rinka, 君は
What?
はい。
He's so abrupt that I struggle not to jump out of my skin.
生きたいのか君の行動は生きたい人間の行動には見えない
Ooh. Oh, we're getting right to the heart of the matter. I can't say he's wrong. I never even stopped going to school after divine selection began. Not like he knows that. He's likely basing his claim off the way I've involved myself with other participants. In all honesty, I'm not even sure how I ended up in this situation myself. But what I do know is that it's all been due to my own judgment. As often as I've questioned how much my life is worth, I've never once resigned to the idea that I'm fine with being eliminated. When I put all that together, it's easy to answer this question.
私は生きたいです。あなたには非効率的に見えるかもしれないですけれど、これが私の生き方なんです。
Oh, these may be extraordinary circumstances, but I'm not built to adapt to them. Average is all I know. I'm easily influenced and prone to sticking my nose into what I shouldn't. That's me. That's what defines Hishima Rinka.
愚問だったようだ
He's smiling.
病院で君の瞳を見たとき僕はとっくにそのことに気づいていた
Maybe it is my imagination, but I think I see him throw a faint smile as he says
リン
that.
カの生き方がどこまで通用するのか
Oh yeah, he's
見させて
definitely
もらう
smiling. So, may I touch your boobs before you die?
どちらにせよ君自身が忘れているなら
Excuse
問い
me.
詰めても君の情報は引き出せなさそうだ
You didn't hear that. Thank you for the hydrate time.
君は選定のルールを忘れていたな。自身のカードを忘れていても不思議ではない。
Yes, I did so.
死因が未練を自覚していないからこそ身をさらして行動できるのだろう。もっともそれはあの少年も同じではあるな。ああいった手合いは他の参加者を脱落させてカードを得るほかないだろう。
It really was obvious that I'd forgotten everything about divine selection during my first visit to the Court of Fate, especially after my discussion with Miharu and needing Parker to explain things over to me from scratch. Had he taken the possibility that I forgot my own cards into consideration ever since?
アランさんはあの子の情報を得るために牛塚さんの条件を飲んだんですか？
その意図はなかったな。だがなるほど。ここにいれば何か手が
Don't
かり
give
が
him
得られる。
ideas, Linka.
あの無防備な少年だ。何かの拍子に話してもおかしくはないか。記憶喪失というが、例えば
Brother, please.
夢というのは深層心理が呼び起こされる場合もあるから。寝言などか。さすがにそれは都合が良すぎるか。しかし
It's not only convenient, it is also the truth. I mean, we
君の言う通り。
found out the regret through the dreams as well. Cutting the conversation off here seems wise. I'm eating a chocolate chip cookie right now, but if you... Ooh. I cannot eat chocolate, but I do feel jealous, yes. The last thing I want is for him to somehow extract information about Miharu from me. She set it up so everyone thinks we've had a falling out, but at this rate I might end up spilling the beans on Nada more. Setting that aside, I'm surprised he agreed to Shigetsugu's terms so quick. Assuming what he said is true, then it isn't just because he sees value in doing so. No, it does not make me want to hurt you. It makes me want to wish you... it makes me start the sentence the wrong way, because in German you can say you wish someone good hunger, but that doesn't make sense in English, but I still do it every time. Anyway, I wish for you that the cookie tastes great, and I hope you enjoy eating it. That's what I wanted to say. Redeem. There's more to it. He let his emotions take the wheel from what I can tell. Not like I'll ever say that to his face.
ようやく戻るか。足音が聞こえた。玄関まで行ってやればいい。心配するな。
Oh, he's right. I hear noises coming from the entrance. I make my way over to welcome them back. 5 or so minutes after he begins his search, Shigetsugu found the person he was looking for on his way back home.
ここにおったか、ユウ。
Oh?
どこかへ行こうとしたけど、僕は記憶がないから他に行く場所なんてなかった。
Oh, do we get to see it from Shigetsugu's point now? Shigetsugu referred to numeral 4 as you, but that wasn't his real name. It was a name Shigetsugu gave the boy upon the first
おじいちゃん
encounter.
は僕のこと嫌いになったの？
そんなわけなかろ
ならどうしておじいちゃんが脱落、死んじゃうようなことを言うの？
Technically, both of you are already dead, and also Shigetsugu is like 5 times as old as you.
おじいちゃんが死んだら僕は一人になっちゃう。本当の家族じゃないから。
本当の家族が無条件に一緒にいるとも限らんよ。
Not to imply that this game is doing it, but there's one thing that I hate that a lot of Japanese media seems to do, or like from the media I've experienced, is like they give you fantastic found families, and then at some point there's always this, but we're not a real family. I'm like, you just gave me like 300 chapters of a found family, and they're the best they've ever been, and they love each other, but at one point there's this one thing, but we can never be real family. I'm like, are you kidding me? What did I read the last 300 chapters for? The writing is so good, and then they throw that in there, and I feel like, huh? Just say you think that family needs to be blood related to be real. Because I don't agree. Found family can be so much better than just because you're blood related doesn't mean anything. It's kind of worldwide issue, honestly. I mean, okay, that's going to sound awful, but like most of my media that I consume is definitely Japanese. That's why I've seen it happen a lot in there. I'm not a big movie watcher or anything with real people, so I wouldn't know about that. But in so many manga and anime, it's like, ooh, all that build up, all that we will be together forever, blah 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 blah. But we're not actually real family. Like, who cares? Who cares? Ah! He cast a solemn gaze up to the night sky as he spoke. Having lost his wife far too soon, Shigetsugu spent his days battling loneliness. Meanwhile, his son got married soon after graduating college and getting hired into a financing company. Shigetsugu got along with his daughter-in-law at first, but things changed when she became pregnant. Perhaps it was more accurate to say that Shigetsugu changed. Knowing a baby was on the way, both made the decision to move out. Shigetsugu's son was gradually moving up the corporate ladder, so it felt like the right time to go. And that was when Shigetsugu's battle with loneliness reached its zenith. The stress it caused him led to outbursts of violence. His attitude took a drastic turn and he became stubborn over the most minor of things. He would complain about his daughter-in-law's cooking for no reason. His actions eventually led to the hastened departure from Shigetsugu's home. The loneliness and self-hatred that followed changed him even more. They did get back in touch years later, but nothing ever came of it. Shigetsugu's issues eventually led him to gambling, which he used as a means to distract himself. This in turn led to him racking up more and more debt to the point that it almost affected his son's family. It was then that they cut all ties with him. Years later, he visited their home only to find no one was living there. They had just up and vanished. Perhaps they thought the exact same about Shigetsugu, considering how little contact he made with the outside world.
そうだったね。おじいちゃんが話してくれた。
悪いのはわしじゃ。じゃが、お主はそれを知ってもわしと一緒にいてくれた。
Like, on one hand, I think family doesn't have to be blood related, and like you have no obligation to someone just because you're blood related. But on the other hand, I'm also very sad when I hear like stories like this, when people like break off all contact. Like, obviously not if there's abuse and stuff happening, but like this kind of thing. The world is so sad. I don't want world sad in my funny video game. I say playing a video game that is about a death game.
他に行く場所がないからなどという利害関係だけでないことはよく分かっておる。
利害？よくわからないけど。僕はおじいちゃんが好きだから一緒にいたんだ。お馬さんを見たり、ボートも見たりした。何より一人ぼっちの僕を助けてくれた。記憶がない不安よりもこの家にいられる安心の方が大きいよ。
I don't want you two to die. I know you're already dead, but I don't want you two to die. I hate it. Over a month has passed since Divine Selection began. Both Shigetsugu and you have spent the majority of their time together. To others, their relationship may be fundamentally flawed. To Shigetsugu, however, the relationship was that of a true family.
わしはお前を家族だと思っておる。
僕もそうだよ。おじいちゃんは僕の唯一の家族だ。
Don't do that to me. There's no preface to his statement. For you, the present took precedence over his lost memories. His words were proof of that.
じゃが、わしは死ぬ。お前たち若い連中は運命のいたずらのようなもので本来の寿命よりも随分早くに命を落としてしまったんじゃろうが、わしあの日腰を痛めなかったとしてももう追い先は長くなかったんじゃ。わしの願いはできるだけ長くお前と過ごすことじゃった。ささやかな願いじゃった。 だからこそ必死に生きようとする者たちに拒まれたんじゃ。
わからないよ、難しくって。僕にはおじいちゃんが言っていることがわからない。
ユウ、これからの生き方はお前が決めるんじゃ。
僕が？
ああ、生きたいと思うんじゃったら選定を勝ち残るんじゃ。思わない、そう思えないんじゃったらわしは止めはせん。
決められないよ、僕は。
決めねばならんのじゃ。わしは数日後にはもう死んだことになっているんじゃからな。
えいや。
嫌だ、嫌だよ、おじいちゃん。
I know, thank you. Welcome to sad times. Yu was growing more upset as the conversation carried on. Shigitsugu, on the other hand, remained as calm as
お
ever.
前にユウという名前を与
Was Yu
えた
your
の
son's
は
name?
わしの過ちじゃった
Or
か
your
もしれん。
son's name?
記憶喪失じゃからか知らんが、
Huh?
まさかその名前でカードが作られるとは思わん。
No, but like, no, wait. It doesn't necessarily have to be the name. Because we found out that like, what's her name? Miharu's name is also just because she herself sees her as that with that last name, because she doesn't like her mother's name. So if Shigitsugu has that much of an effect on our child here, and named them Yu, and the child also is like, okay, yes, Yu is my name now, then that's what the card will be, right? Like that can be a thing. The game is very finicky. If it really said that's the name now.
お前は自身のカードを忘れていることが強みじゃったが、それを一つ奪ってしまったからの。
そんなことない。おじいちゃんが名前をつけてくれて
I
僕
don't
は
like
嬉しかった。
I don't like how I can
自
how
分
you
の名前
can
もわ
hear
からなかったんだ
how
もん。
how so close to crying.
それは嬉しいわい。
Also, I don't like that they're standing outside because I always fear that our best friend will just come around the corner and be like, hi, die, bye.
無理
In the
に生き
balcony.
ようなどとは
I
言わん。
know, they're downstairs.
ただ誰かに何かを与える喜びだけは知ってほしいんじゃ。
I will adopt you. I will do it. Much like how he'd given you his name, not only a name, but also a place to call home.
わしもユウに大切なものをもらって死ねる。
僕がおじいちゃんに何かを
The
あげた。
joy of life. I don't fucking know.
そうじゃ。
ダメだ。やっぱり僕にはわからないよ。何もわからない。
The joy of cleaning
じゃっ
up
た
the
ら
numbers.
徐々にわかるようになればいいんじゃ。その時にはその喜びもちゃんと理解
Listen,
できるじゃろ。
listen. If Rinka won't end up with like some godlike powers and change the entire fate of everyone involved in here, then I will commit a crime, which will be a scathing Steam review. That I fucking hate the game, and then I'll give it a thumbs up with like 50 hours of reading. Shigitsugu rested a hand on Yu's head before patting it. His words and actions were cheerful despite the context of the conversation. Meanwhile, Yu was unable to find his answer. He had not accepted his reality. At the same time, the state of mind made him all the more susceptible to what Shigitsugu had to say. So eventually, he came to understand what was about to transpire. Ushizuka Shigitsugu was going to die, and there was absolutely nothing he could do about it. I happened to overhear the conversation. I don't intend to, but that's no excuse. I don't catch the entire thing, but one important detail doesn't slip by me. You. The moment Shigitsugu called numeral 4 that, my book began to glow. The resulting card contains nothing but those two letters. I'm glad Alan wasn't nearby when it happened. Things will only get more complicated if any of them learn that I now know his name. I repeat the name to myself. I figured that Shigetsugu had given him a name, but I never expected that name to be the one on his card. This would have been far more difficult to believe if I hadn't had that conversation with Miharu about one's perception of one's name. Nah! See? That's what I said. What did Shigetsugu have in mind in giving him that name, though? Surely there's some meaning behind it. Doesn't matter. I've somehow ended up with all 3 of Yu's cards, but I don't have it in me to elect either of them now. If Alan elects Shigetsugu, logic dictates that I elect you. I try my best to convince myself that's what I need to do, but it's not that easy. No! No! Is this the first week where actually 2 people will be elected? No! What do you think I'd listen in the summer? Okay, might be because of that. No. Death by you, huh? We make our way back to the living room after I meet them at the entrance. Another conversation starts up once we've all gathered, but it dies off pretty fast. Oh, the music changed.
構わない。僕からは特に話すことはない。僕のために部屋を用意すればそれでいい。
分かっておる。
Yu still isn't happy about the scenario, but regardless, the conversation is over. Knowing that, I decide to make my way back home, albeit far later than planned.
君も11番の女に狙われるかもしれない。
Well, duh. But I can't just not go home now.
もっとも、あの女は僕の方を狙ってくるだろうな。ああいうタイプは決着をつける方を優先する。それはこっちの少年が狙われる可能性もあるということではあるが、僕がいる限り心配はしなくていい。やっ。
I'm so stunned by his apparent concern for me that I struggle to find a way to respond. What is with this guy? First he threatens to kill a baby without hesitation, then he agrees to Shigetsugu's terms that don't entirely benefit him. To top it all off, now he's worrying about my safety.
バイバイ、お姉ちゃん。ご飯、とっても美味しかった。忘れないよ。
Don't say that!
ありがとう。まだちょっと残ってるから、お腹が空いたら食べてね。
さて、わしが見送ろう。
The front door is literally right there, but thank you. We then make our way out of the living room.
そんな、玄関まででよかったの。
Exactly. Shigetsugu follows me outside rather than seeing me off at the entrance. It's uncommon for us to be alone together, so I take this chance to clear my doubt.
シスカさんが脱落したら、ユウ君はどこで暮らすつもりだったんですか？
盗み聞きとは趣味
Wow,
が
I
良く
thought
な
you
い
didn't
の。
want them to know that you now know the name.
わざとです。
Oh, okay, never mind.
つけた名前なんですよね。
そうじゃ。あの子は優しいけれど、勇気もある子じゃ。勇という響きは日本人らしくもあり、外国人らしくもあるじゃろ。
Does it?
勇まさか本当の名前としてカードが作られるとは思わなかったがの。
私の推測ではありますが、カードの情報は本人の認知が大きく関わっているみたいです。
なるほどの。で、ユウのその後じゃったの。
I will say it once again, but at least this death game is like, I will not dead name you. If your own perception of your name is like this, then I will accept that. Yes! It's a win! I nod my head, urging him to continue.
現金で100万ほど用意してある。
You have what? My first reaction is to look around after recovering from my own shock. I'm worried about any lurking burglars overhearing him, but I guess anyone sneaking into that house is in far more danger than those already
選定が終わるまで
inside.
の約2ヶ月であれば、その金でなんとかなるじゃろ。あの子が選定の後どうするかはわしが関われることではないじゃろ。じゃが、贅沢をしなければ、記憶が戻った時帰国するくらいの金は残っているはずじゃ。 選定が始まってからわしが家にある現金をかき集めて売れるものはすべて売りまあいろいろして集めた金じゃ。
But man sure won a lot of money. He mentioned before that his pension and benefits were his only sources of income right now. He talked about being in debt as well, so I could only assume he went through some shady dealings to get up that amount. Knowing he did it all for you's sake made it hard to judge him for it though.
貯金なんぞ全部使い切ったし口座も凍結しておったからの苦労したわい。後のことを構わず家探しをしたんじゃが片付ける気にもならんでの。家は散らかっていたじゃろ。
Maybe I should do that as well. Clean my room and sell stuff I don't need anymore. Ooh.
道理で。
I slapped both hands over my mouth the moment I realized what I'm about to say. It might be the truth, but still rude to say such a thing out loud.
構わん構わん。というわけじゃ。お主が心配することなど何もありゃせんよ。
He lets out a heartfelt laugh. I can't find the humor in it though, so I just nod.
じゃあの、また夢の世界とやらであったらよろしく頼むぞ。
Man, you're going to fucking die!
はい。いろいろと。
We still haven't seen number 9. Or like, maybe we have, but we're not aware that they're number 9.
世話になったのはこちらじゃよ。
He shuffles back into his house. That's how it should be. Things are looking good for me right now. Even so, I make my way home with a knot in my heart. Oh, we actually got home without problems. Hoo-ah! Every single day, I'm scared for Rinka to just get mugged on the street by one of the other participants. Family, huh? When I get back to my room, my mind drums up images of Shigetsugu and you. Shigetsugu talked about the joy of providing something to another. Was I able to do that for Keiko? Was I able to do that for Sonia even? Shigetsugu's elimination during the next election is all but guaranteed. Was I able to provide something for him knowing that would happen? I heard him out and made dinner for you. There's no need to involve myself with any of the participants further than this, and yet I find myself worried about waking up on Monday plagued with regret. I figure I'm best off acting instead of worrying, so I make my way to my computer. What will you find there? Thus another day of school rolls by. I stayed up late last night doing research, so I'm still a bit tired. And wouldn't you know it, I checked my calendar and it's June already. I'm already nostalgic about the time we went to that amusement park. Once my surprise fades, I get ready to head to school. Wow, is this another 2-minute school scene? Once there, I find myself talking to the usual group.
おはよう。リータンたちは文化祭の日どうするか決めた？
No.
どうするかって土日でそれぞれ1時間の手伝いでしょ？
僕もやらなくてはいけないみたいだ。
Talking to these two really helps to hammer home that I'm back to my typical daily life. The culture festival's next weekend. My class has finally decided to go with the fortune teller booth idea. I'm a bit worried about it since they've decided with hardly a month to spare, but it should be fine because there's nothing too difficult to prepare. None of us are playing a big part in it, but we do need to help out because it's a class effort. I guess expect to play a death game and deal with festival? Just a typical day at school. And said help comes in the form of 1-hour shifts on both Saturday and Sunday, it seems.
違うよ。うちはそれ以外の時間をどうしよっかって聞いてるの。
I don't know, check out the other classes.
ああ、そうだったんだ。だったら、ナオミの喫茶店には行ってみたいかな。
羊さんの、ね。
You really don't like Naomi, and I don't know why. She's sweet.
別にミハルンは無理に行かなくてもいいんじゃないの？
Oh, is this because Naomi's probably also like crushing on us? Is that why you don't like her?
いや、リンカが行くなら僕も行くよ。
Spending time with Naomi should be fine so long as it's while we're at school. She's been working hard for this, so I want to see how it turns out.
マオには何か案があるの？
ない。
ない
んだね。
僕は文化部の活動にもあまり興味がないから、シフトを午前中に入れてもらう予定だよ。
Okay, Miharu.
生徒は午前中まで校内にいれば、あとは帰宅してもいいことになっているからね。
Get that coin?
なら私もそうしようかな。
Wow,
興味ある
Jesus,
も
you
のもない
guys.
し。
冷めてる。
Ignoring Mao's attempts to tease us, we start to trudge over to the cafeteria.
じゃ、お先。
With that, Mao skips out of the classroom. Looks like she's heading home in a hurry today. I'm not sure why, since she generally keeps that aspect of her life to herself. Still, she tends to be busy more often than not. Not like she's in any clubs either. I can only assume she's got a part-time job or something. I don't know. It's like Mao is there. Mao knows about Miharu's crush on us, but like, what else is she hiding? We know so little about her. She's just there. She's the only one that's not been involved with the death game at all, and like, I'm suspicious. Miharu's getting ready to head home herself. Seems like she's booking a shift today, so we offer to walk with her.
一緒に駅まで行く？
Since we need to do all that, so we don't end up on a bad end. Mao's just vibing. I don't trust anything you say.
本当かい？
What? She starts to pack up even faster when she asks. And her notebook is an unfamiliar book. It doesn't seem like one from the school's library.
そんなに焦らなくてもいいよ。
遅くなったら、君は僕を見捨てて先に行ってしまうかもしれ
If
な
I
いから
tell
ね。
you I will go home with you, then I won't leave you behind for being too slow. Not of the game just caught in preparation for the festival. I mean, Naomi is like lately just not there. Well, that's because of the story. I can only smirk. We basically told Naomi to fuck off.
昨日はありがとね。
大したことはしていないよ。僕もちょうどそのことについて聞
All
こう
right,
と思っていた
Miharu
と
called
こ
the
ろなんだ。
police.
話すと長くなるんだけど
She's
さ。
gonna scream at us like, why did you get involved with another pair of survivors? This isn't a topic I can avoid so long as we're together. I tell her all about how I went to Shigetsugu's house and how numeral 11 forced her way in. She's wide-eyed at the start of the story, but by the end all she does was sigh.
呆れを通り越して僕はもはや君のことが怖いよ。
でもなんとかなってる。12の人ともちゃんと話せることが分かったし。
話してどうするんだい？最後には彼のことも脱落させないといけないんだ。
I figure I'm being optimistic, but Miharu makes sure to beat reality back into me with her words. Lacking a proper retort, all I do is avoid eye contact.
まあ、君がどんな行動をしようが否定しないし、どんなことがあっても僕は君を守る。もっとも君にあった出来事を話してくれないよりはいいか。
美晴は何かないの？
くす気になるかい？
She teases the question with a smile.
教えてくれないやつでしょ。
Of course she isn't.
さすが凛花だ。ご名答。
He's like, you don't... I want you to tell me everything, but I'm going to keep secrets. We move to more standard topics following now as we make our way to the station. Then we exchange goodbyes and part ways. And then we're suddenly back at school. Oh, it's Saturday, okay. Yesterday was a rare day. I was able to open the store for once. Customers dwindle during holiday periods, but regulars in the area still tend to drop by. I'm gonna be really honest. If I had a cafe, I would go through regularly and like it. Some days it's open, some days it's not. Like at the drop of a hat, I would probably not go there very often. Like, imagine you go out and it's like, yes, today I will eat whatever at that cafe, and then you go there and it's like closed for no discernible reason, just closed. And then you think to yourself, okay, well maybe tomorrow, and then tomorrow it's also closed. And then you like drive by some other time and then it's suddenly open. And then you think to yourself, oh nice, I'm gonna go there later, and then it's closed again. Yeah. I'm glad most of them understand that my grant's away, so they make it a point to cheer me on rather than criticize my offerings.
ティータン、文化祭の次の週どっか行かない？
Oh, sure. Ma comes over to chat as I'm getting ready to head home.
いいけどどこに？
まだ決めてないけど、映画とかカラオケとか？
カラオケ。She grins as she notices my
テ
hesitation.
ィータンが恥ずかしがりながら歌うとこ、また見たいのだよ。
だから嫌なんだよ。
でもさ、ナオリンとはまだカラオケ行ったことなかったよね。文化祭が終わってちょうどいいタイミングだと思うし、いいんじゃないかな。
Singing a Barbie girl in a karaoke with Japanese people who are like passionately screaming along to the song with broken English is an experience I wish everyone could have because it's fucking fantastic.
てかさ、ナオリンって歌うまいと思うんだよね、うち。何歌うのか知らないけど、おとなしい子が意外とうまかったりするしね。問題はミハルンのバイトだけど。
First thing we need is extra karaoke bars here. Yeah, or like karaoke bars that have separated rooms and not just this one big thing where you have to sing in front of the entire bar. Then we can think about the audience. She prattles on and on without giving me a chance to speak. I'm all too aware that this is her way of making sure I can't turn her down. I'm pretty curious about what Naomi would try to sing, so I end up agreeing.
イエーイ。じゃ、ちゃんと再来週の土曜は開けといてね。
I mean, sure, I will try not to die until then.
わかっ
The Saturday after next would be the 16th. 2 more elections stand between now and then. I should be fine for this week's, but who knows about next week's. That's not the mindset I should have, though. My utmost priority is making sure I never get elected.
ティータン？
I apologize for getting lost in thought before we make our way to class. I'm so sorry for Japanese people that they have school on Saturdays, like... bleh. After spending some time in Shinjuku, I found myself waiting for the train. I realized it's been a while since the last time I went to the bookstore, so I decided to stop by before heading home. There are a fair number of new shoujo manga on sale, so I'll buy a couple to try. Ooh! Naomi! As it happens, Naomi's already there and waiting for the same train. She even has the same bag in hand as me, which means we were both at the same store. After discussing what we both bought, Naomi's expression gets a bit more serious as she changes the topic.
そういえば、あの子、どうなったんですか？
She must mean you. It's funny, thinking back to the first encounter, not only did I not know his name, I actually thought he was a girl. How much should I tell Naomi though? I can't give her all the details like I did with Miharu. Miharu's warning comes to mind as I mull it over.
大丈夫だったよ。
A new voice.
そうです。
The exchange is brief, but it no doubt leaves Naomi a tad vexed. If I'm not going to tell her everything, then I'm better off not saying anything at all. Her pain expression tells me exactly how the current situation makes her feel. Doing this to her hurts. Bleh. Doing this to her hurts me enough already, but she must feel even worse on the receiving end. That's why I try my best to change the topic.
どうしたんですか？
As soon as I do, I notice a familiar figure amongst the crowd. Not wanting Naomi to notice, I keep my gaze on her, only resorting to quick glances to make sure I'm right. And I am. It's you. He's standing in the crowd as if waiting for something. But I mean, there's a very limited pool of people he could be waiting for. He tries to seem nonchalant, but I notice him glancing over to me every now and
お
then.
店の買い物を思い出しちゃった。ごめん、今日は先帰ってて。
あ、だったら私も。
大丈夫。文化祭の準備で疲れてるだろうし、ちゃんと休んだ方がいいから。
She nods, although it's obvious that she has read between the lines. Following that, I wave goodbye as she gets on a train. Yu makes his way over after confirming that I'm alone.
お姉ちゃん。
Yo! He probably realized that I saw him.
お姉ちゃんにね、お願いがあるんだ。
He cuts right to the chase. I opt to quietly hear him out.
おじいちゃんを家族と会わせてあげたい。
How?
だから一緒に場所を調べてほしいんだ。おじいちゃんは大丈夫って言ってもう諦めてるけど、 本当はずっと会いたがってたんだ。
So I guess this is we perceived as long-term friends. No, I mean Naomi like knows that you is a participant. I guess. So that wouldn't work.
僕は気づいてたよ。気づいてたけど悔しくて
How do you plan on
会い
finding
に行こうって
family
言ってあげられるのは僕だけなのに
who broke off all contact with them or like they with him and everything? How? In one day. If others are watching, you know, catch a glimpse of two neurons interacting.
今日までずっと迷ってたんだ。僕はどうすればいいのかわからなかったから。でもこのままじゃ僕もおじいちゃんも後悔しちゃうから。
Don't scream. You're just really desperate at this point. I mean, I can imagine. He lets his emotions run rampant despite being out in public. There's nothing I can do to stop him either. Once he finishes his spiel, he stares at me, worry all over his face. I can't blame him. Normally people wouldn't hear him out, but he's probably hoping for the slight possibility that I will.
どこにいるのか知らないし、多分おじいちゃんに聞いても教えてくれない。アレンさんはもっと無理だし、僕にはもう頼れる人はお姉ちゃんしかいない
I
んだ。
don't have that kind of information network. I'm just a high schooler.
だから
He's probably expecting me to turn him down based on my silence. I don't seem to be in the right state of mind. His desperation to help Shigetsugu serves to warm my... Rinka, are you fucking... As does knowing we both thought of the same
同
thing.
じ会社で異動になって地方に引っ越しただけだから地域を特定するのはそう難しくなかったよ。
Are you fucking
あ
kidding
と
me?
は部署をいくつか変えながら電話してみたら
That's what you
意外となん
spent
とかなったんだ。
the last nights on?
選定が始まってから嘘の演技にはちょっとは慣れたからかな。
え
あとは君の頑張り次第かな。近所の人とかに聞き込みをして家を見つければいいよ。新幹線代と今日の宿泊代はまあ貸してあげる。おばあちゃんには内緒だけど後で返してくれれば大丈夫かな。
Are you kidding me?
お姉ちゃん
牛塚さんを連れて行けはしないんだったら君が説得して牛塚さんのご家族に来てもらうようにしないと。私はそこまでは協力できないけど自分を信じてね。
ちょっとお姉ちゃんどういうこと？
Shigetsugu said that you was both brave and compassionate. I have to agree. I hand him an envelope. Inside is information I've already dug up regarding Shigetsugu's family, as well as some money.
分かってたの？
なんとなくだけど私も同じことを考えてたから。
Wow. It's their story from here on out. I have no intention of seeing it through. Now that I've done this much for you, I should be able to avoid waking up with regret if Shigetsugu gets
お
eliminated.
じいちゃんが最後に笑っていられるように僕頑張るよ。ありがとうお姉ちゃん。お金は絶対返すから。
After he says that, he remains still for a moment. Just as I mutter that I need to go, he stops me. His expression is deathly serious.
もう一つお願いがあるんだ。
No! No more favors! His face makes it clear that this one is serious. Even so, I don't expect what comes out of his mouth next.
僕を脱落させてほしい。お姉ちゃんが僕のカードを3枚持っていることは察しがついてた。ただね、お姉ちゃんは優しいから僕を指名できないんじゃないかって思ってたんだ。
どうして？
お姉ちゃんに生きてほしいって思ったからなんだ。
そんなの。ごめん、大きな声出しちゃったね。
僕は本気だよ。お姉ちゃんが僕を脱落させるなら納得できるから。それだけじゃない。僕はきっと生きてちゃいけないんだ。
Did you remember that you were like kind of a suicide bomber? Is that your next revelation?
生きてちゃ
いけない。僕がなくした記憶は全然戻る気はしないよ。
No, I guess
でも
not.
ね、時々自分が怖くなる。僕の中にいるもう一人の僕が何か恐ろしいことをしようとしている気がして。
Wait, hold on. No. No, no. Our death was caused because you had that bomb on the train, right? So if you gets eliminated, then his original death comes to fruition, I guess. But that is also our cause of death. So if we survive until the end and our death gets overturned, would that bring you back? Or would it just make it so we survive the fire that you died in because of the bomb? Why am I thinking about it? Why am I not reading? I should just
もし
read.
記憶が戻ったら僕は何するかわからない。僕が僕じゃなくなっちゃうか
Two
もしれ
people
ない。
dying to the same kind of thing is weird. No, never mind. Number 3 and number 11 also died to the same thing, but still. No, they both drowned. But we don't know the actual causes of death. They just died in the same place. But fuck! Fuck this game!
だからその前に僕を殺して。
Excuse me. I can feel the pressure he's been bottling up inside from the tone of his voice. That unknown factor has probably been haunting him for a while now. I had no intention of electing him this week, just as he said, mostly because I don't have it in me.
ごめん、即答はできない。
It's Saturday! Linka, you have to do
ど
it.
うしてお姉ちゃんが行きたいんだったらいずれは僕のことも脱落させるはずでしょ。
そうだよ。でももしユウ君を脱落させるとしたら、それはユウ君の記憶が戻ってから、真実が分かってから、何も分からないままユウ君が脱落したら、私は後悔するかもしれない。
Very convenient excuse, Rinka. You just don't have it in you to eliminate someone. I have a bad feeling for the ending.
ダメだよ。
He refuses to give in. He knows what I'm like by now, and yet he presses on
お
regardless.
願いだから。優しいお姉ちゃんなら聞いてくれるよね。
I can't bring myself to answer. He refuses to stop staring at me, waiting for me to say yes. He believes he might do something terrible, but I can't see that happening. Oh, I can. I've seen it happen. You too, Rinka. You just don't remember. Sure, his past required him to know how to fight, but it doesn't feel relevant to his current fears.
絶対だよ。
He cuts the conversation off after a period of silence and takes his leave without another word. There's a reason I couldn't give him the response he wanted. Deep down I knew. I just can't do it yet. Okay, tell me how to do it then. She said she will do everything for us. I think Rinka would survive, but maybe someone else dies in her place. Oh no! Oh fuck! Because Rinka died because she like took the brunt force of it, so Naomi wouldn't get hit. No! Don't no! Today turns out to be another rare day. I keep the cafe open all day long. Leaving it closed so often has taken its toll on me. My legs feel like rubber now that my shift is over. Either way, working up a sweat from hard work feels pretty good. And getting to see all the customers relaxed and content makes it all worth it.
よし、シャワーを浴びて早く寝よう。
That is a big mood, Rinka. This week's selection awaits. It doesn't actually matter when I decide to go to sleep, but the more sleep I get, the better I should feel in the morning. I would also like a shower and then go to bed. I notice a sizable black object in my room as soon as I enter. Ah, it's Lethe, loading over my bed as always.
もう
Which means there's going to be a weird man in our dream. In all honesty, it's reassuring to know I'm not all alone. Is it? No? Mysterious man is not here?
ごきげんよう。運命の奴隷の皆様。
I don't like you. Parker's voice echoes through the curd of fate. That's the prelude to this week's election.
録画をせんでも毎週忘れることがないから楽じゃの。
あら、おじい様。 テレビ番組のようにおっしゃらないでくださ
I
い
would
ます？
appreciate you not toying with human life, bitch.
女神様もテレビのことは知っておったんじゃの。
私はこれでも浮世の流行には敏感なのでございますわ。
I get irrationally angry when I hear people talk the way she talks.
時の移ろいから外れた存在の私
Not the voice,
ですけれ
the
ど、
way she speaks
無意に過ご
Japanese.
すには退屈すぎますもの。
Like the very, very highly polite, but you just know she looks down on you. She smiles as she responds to Shigitsugu. There's something inherently off about hearing a being like her who feels right at home in a fantasy setting talking about TVs. I wonder if she observes events in the real world from here as if watching us on TV.
皆様、そろそろお疲れのご様子ですね。選定
We are
の
nearly
中盤、
halfway through.
無理もあ
Oh
りま
my
せ
god,
ん
how
ね。
long is this game?
おいおい、とっとと始めてくれないか。あんたの言う
Shut
通
the
り、
fuck up,
確かに
Federico.
疲れてるから睡眠時間は確保したいんだよ。
Federico speaks up in his typical tone of jest. From what I can tell, he doesn't have any serious injuries. You claim to have rendered him immobile, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Either that, or the dream world doesn't reflect our current state in the real world. Meaning he's acting fine to cover up the fact that he's been injured. I can change him.
まったくもう、皆様はせっかつさんで嫌になりますわ。私の退屈をもっと紛らわせてくださってもよろしいのに。
Fuck you!
まあ、仕方がないといたしましょう。今宵を含め、女神の選定はまだ8回も残っているのですから。
How many people are we even still?
それでは、今宵も女神の選定を始めますわ。回りなさい。運命の大時計。
Things proceed as usual after that. Each participant announces whether or not they want to elect someone as the clock hand makes its revolution. Naturally, I'm up first because I'm numeral 1. I announce my intent to not elect anyone tonight. Rinka, you fucking idiot! In the end, Alan is the only one to announce an election.
僕は5番を指名させてもらおう。
As expected, he goes straight for Shigitsugu. Shigitsugu seems satisfied with this outcome. I can only guess the meaning behind it, but I like to believe his story ends on a positive note. More importantly,
どうして？
a sense of guilt washes over me as I hear those words get muttered. Two people face one another in the court of fate's upper stratum. Alan and Shigitsugu. For Alan, this is his third time. Much like the previous two, his expression remains stolid. Stolid? Solid? Stoic? Stolid?
すごいの。夢の世界とやらはこんな風になっておったのか。
Yeah, exactly. Alan remained silent after Shigitsugu's remark. The only thing in his eyes is the reflection of an old man's decrepit smile.
あなた様はすっかり常連ですわね。
Alan gives no response to Parker, who appears out of nowhere either.
私もあなた様が釣れないお方だというのは分かっていますわ。
They give you a choice to walk with your friend, but not to elect anyone. Important decisions for the player. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it has very little choices. Like most of it seems to be just like, if you fuck up any of the choices we have had so far, we will be getting a bad end. Next choice. Or like if we do the wrong choice at the next turn, it will give us one bad end. Otherwise, it will let you continue throughout the game. This game is mostly just like, fuck up once, you will end early, do it the right thing, and then you can only fuck up like really at the end. Stolid is a real word, it's just weird looking. Huh. I mean, this is more like read our story that we have written and not choose your own story. So I don't mind that we can't actually elect someone. Also, it wouldn't fit Rinka's character.
それでは
Like, she's not the kind of protagonist where it would be like, oh, I'm just gonna elect people. Alan opens up his card book and produces the relevant cards. Once done, he reads them aloud.
牛塚茂津死因餓死未練仲の良かった家族
とはいえわしはもう思い残すことはないがのどんなからくりを使ったかは知れんがわしの息子たち一家と合わせてくれおった
何を言うからくりではないだろう彼貴様の家族からのメイドの土産だろうそう言ってやらなければ報われない
No, they're not.
っておるよ老人の照れ
You
隠
only
し
get a
じゃ
point of view from the person's death.
そうか
意外じゃのいや意外でもないか短い付き合いじゃったがわかるお主は誰よ
Wow,
りも
Alan
家族
actually
思い
smiling
じゃ
makes him look so, like, really nice.
余計な話をしすぎた
And then he turns around and is like,
女神もういいだろ
What are you, a tsundere? Is that what you are?
あらもうよろしいのですか
Before Alan can respond, a bright light floods from his cards. It envelopes the area in an instant, and it blinds me every time. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, ow, ow. A man haunted by loneliness, on the floor in his home. As starvation whittled him away, all he could do was reflect on his past. He wished to return to those happier times. It was an unrealizable dream, and yet it was one he would cling to as his life's light gradually extinguished. Damn.
同情もしないもっとも貴様の場合は最後に夢を見たのだ十分だろ
やはり珍しいですわね
Shut
あな
the
た
fuck
様
up,
が
Parker.
少しでも干渉をお見せになるなんて
余計な話はいいと言っているはずだ貴様は貴様の仕事をしてくれ
まこと面白みのない方ですわねもっとももう幾度かすればあなた様の興味深いところが見られるかもしれません
I dislike her so much. Alan's platform begins to move as Shigetsuku's cards float in front of him. He must pick a card to keep before returning to the lower stratum. His expression remains emotionless as he chooses. He probably does. Isn't he always taking the name cards? Sometime after, Alan descends by himself.
それではどのカードを選びますか
4番未練のカードをもらおう
Oh! It's actually not a name card for once. Something's wrong. Yu seems completely unfazed by Alan's selection. No, that's not quite right. His expression is alien compared to a few minutes ago. It sends a shiver right down my spine. His gaze remains focused on me rather than Alan.
あの子は
I find it hard to believe that it's simply anger over me not electing him. This is something else, like I'm staring into an endless abyss of rage. My head suddenly begins to pound, but not enough to make me collapse, so I do my best to power through it.
何
Oh no. Oh, I don't like where this is going, no. I notice Alan's bewilderment the moment he touches Yu's card. The card, which was glowing white, suddenly shatters. The fragments disperse throughout the area.
あらあらあらあら
My card book begins to glow as well. Parker speaks up as soon as I notice.
それでは今宵の脱落者は1名これをもって選定を終了といたしましょう
I guess Yu's regret is not getting to eat his mother's cooking anymore. It's probably more along the lines of Why didn't you kill me? The seeds of dissonance have already begun to sprout, but this is just the beginning. 5th week! This is just the beginning? Game! I'm sure you will be fine. Yeah, I don't think we will be fine though. And the hydro time. Oh god, no. Fuck. Rinka, why couldn't you have just done this? While you and you got along still. There's no regret in your mother's home cooking now. Oh, fuck. I don't want to see what that turns into. And this amount of rage from a guy who is trained in the art of killing, who also killed us already with a bomb. We just don't remember. I wake up drenched in sweat, the gross and sticky kind no less. I'm sorry, is there a non-sticky kind of sweat? Death is nowhere to be seen, so I assume it was another midnight departure. What in the world happened during that election? The moment Alan got his hands on our card, it shattered. It was Yu's regret card too. I have the card as well, so I've got a bad feeling about this. I peek into my own book of cards, fearing the worst. I'm sure the distress in my voice is apparent. Yu's regret card has vanished. This has never happened before. If the card disappears, does that mean his regret has disappeared? That can't be right. His regret was about his mother's cooking, so it wouldn't disappear because I made him one dinner. Even if it did, I would have lost the card sooner. Shigetsugu wouldn't have had it either. Which means there's only one possibility. That's why I decided to go back to Shigetsugu's house after school. No! We cannot die unless we get like eliminated, but like we can still feel pain. Don't go there. Don't go there, Rinka. School itself has started to get busy thanks to cultural festival preparations. My class got started pretty late comparatively, so the people in charge were running around during lunch to get things set up. Much as I think they should have gotten it all sorted out earlier, I'm in no position to comment when I'm doing the bare minimum to help. I would be willing to help out if they ask, but they're making it pretty clear that they want to handle things themselves. And I get why. It's nice when you and a group of friends pull stuff like that off together. Naomi's class is probably doing much better than ours in that regard. Definitely not getting all of this right now. I am just scared for Rinka's life now.
今のクラスはあまり居心地がいいものではないからね。
ちょっとそんなはっきり言う？
構わないだろ。マウは手伝うことを打診したけれど、僕たちがいるからと無下に断ったのは彼女たちの方なんだからね。
うちは楽だから気にしてないよ、ミハルン。
Something tells me that Miharu is a bit annoyed. Most likely because it's easy to guess how they treated Mao when she offered to help.
それに、うちらの手伝いの時間はまとめてもらったし。感謝感謝。
Just spend fun slice of lifetimes with your buddies and ignore the elephant in the room. We're good at that.
マオがいいならいいけれどね。
We're very good at ignoring the elephant in the room. I nodded, follow along behind them.
いただきます。
No, three of us enjoy lunch on the rooftop as usual. Times like this are when I can relax the most. Just as I'm enjoying my tonkatsu sandwich, a familiar voice calls out as the rooftop door opens.
リンカ先輩、いらっしゃいますか？
羊さん。
お、ナオリン。なんか久しぶりだね。マオ先輩、三島先輩もこんにちは。
Miharu makes eye contact with her but says nothing. Both Naomi and I understand why, so Naomi makes her business clear right away.
これ、先輩たちに届けに来たんです。文化祭の
Oh, for you, for the festival. She hands 3 tickets over to us. The word coffee is printed in the middle in an oversized font. Beneath that, it says Amateur Girls University High School Culture
校
Festival.
長先生が私たちの企画に興味を持ってくださって、受付でこのチケットを販売してくださることになったんです。
Oh,
何枚かもらったので、
that's
先
nice.
輩もどうぞ。おお、すごいね。せっかくならたくさんの
One
人に
stream
来てもら
without
おう
my
ってことか。
arm making funky noises. One stream without Twitch dying. One day we will have it all.
うちのクラスのように気の抜けた出し物をするところが多いから、羊さんのように真剣にやるところは珍しく、学校の
そうかもしれないけど、でもナオミすごいね。頑張った甲斐があった。
本番はまだですけどね。でもリンカ先輩のおかげです。先輩がコーヒーを教えてくれたから、私ものめり込んで。
Please stop the funny slice of life. I'm so scared.
ナオリンはさ、コスプレとかしないの？
Huh? Mao poses a new question to cut off the current conversation. Naomi's first burns a bright red in response.
コスプレですか？三島先輩みたいな。
僕のはバイトの制服だよ。
すみません。そういうことしようって言ってた子
I
がい
miss her
ました。
glasses.
私は別に。ナオリン、フラグって言葉を知ってるかい？フラッグ？まあそんな感じ。当日を楽しみに待ってるよ。
Mao shoots a wry smile at Naomi.
そういえばナオリン、文化祭の次の週だから、再来週の土曜日って空いてる？再来週？大丈夫ですけど、私が行ってもいいんですか？
僕は構わないよ。ねえ、リンカ。
まだどうするか決めてないけど、久しぶりに出かけよっか。
リータン、うちのカラオケって案はどこ行ったの？私、楽しみにしてます。あ、でも、ちゃんと文化祭の時は来てくださいね。
ナオミ、いや、大丈夫。残り1週間だけど、頑張ってね。
I do my best to swallow the words I was about to say to her as she walks off. Miharu fires a glance at me. Fires a glance at me as I do. I can only imagine the feelings behind the current expression.
お二人さん、早く食べないと昼休み終わっちゃうよ。
Divine selection is in my thoughts more often than I'd like these days, but Mao's comment ejects it from my mind for a little bit. Another day spent eating lunch together with friends under blue sky. Another day spent casually threading the thin line between the life I want and the reality I must face. Face the reality! I am deeply uncomfortable with the funny slice in life. I want to know if my bad feeling is correct. When school is over, I catch up to Miharu on her way home.
どうしたんだい？リンカの方から僕に声をかけてきてくれるなんて。
Miharu's already aware of the situation after I help in fending off numeral 11. I don't want to skimp on the details, so make sure she gets the full story about Saturday night.
昨日の消えたカードの。
Claire, you want to see you join the funny slice of life. Ha ha ha!
残念だね。この後お茶でもと思ったけれど、僕はバイトがあるから付き合えないんだ。
分かってる。だから簡潔に。4の少年のこととかミハルには話してるから意見が聞きたくって。
リンカは4番未練のカードを取得したと言っていたね。
Hey,
12
yeah.
番の男性が取得したものと同じだ。
Yes. I nod and then Miharu continues. We both offer our thoughts on why and how the card could disappear like that. Both of us seem to have the same idea too. Miharu tries to make her way to the station after that, but I stop her again. There's something that's been nagging at me that I need to talk to her about.
それとね、もう一つ。この前の選定で脱落した牛塚さんの話を聞いていて思ったことがあるんだ。
Huh?
彼の話。それはどんな内容かな？
人と人の関係の話かな。私たちは生きている限りいろんな人間関係の中にいるけど、誰かに行動を強要することはできない。
羊さんのことかい？
どうしてわかったの？
君のことだからね。半ば無理やり羊さんを選定に関わらせないようにしたことについて迷っているんだろう。先に伝えておくよ。僕の意見は変わらない。羊さんが選定に関わることは危険に足を踏み入れるということだ。でもね、リンカ、確かに君の言う通りだ。君たちの行動も心も。
I want to spoiler myself for this game so badly. I need to know.
そもそも僕がリンカのために命を捧げると決めたのも自分の意思で、リンカが数度しか会っていない選定の参加者のためにおせっかいするのも自分の意思なのにね。
Like, how are you telling me this is the halfway point? Hello!
そうだよね。
Get on with it! It's obvious now that she mentions it. Everyone's acting of their own accord. Miharu chewed me out for it, but that never stopped me from getting involved with Keiko, Sonia, or Shigetsugu and you. I stuck by my choices.
とはいえ、羊さんは文化祭に向けて大事な時期だ。大切なことを話すつもりなら。
Like on one hand, they're like, okay, you get 1 week each, and then you will meet someone. But like, it's been enough meeting people and crying over them, so now shit's hitting the fan.
わかってる。
So let's go! Looks like Miharu knew exactly why I tried to stop Naomi, just as I figured. I might be the type of person to act before I think, but this time around I knew it'd be best to do the opposite. It really doesn't want me to watch with low latency. Aww! I'm sorry. After parting ways with Miharu, I ended up near Shigetsugu's house. I made sure to tell her I'd be doing so, to which she offered the warning, just be careful. Numeral 4's regret card is gone. That matches a fact. I wasn't sure if I had it in me to elect you, but that's irrelevant now that I don't have all his cards. The time will come when I have to steel myself for the inevitable. You're running out of people to meet and do the same formula with. Exactly. I won't be able to keep myself safe should you end up gathering all my information either. That's why I made my way here, to confirm whether or not our guess was correct. It isn't long before the reality of the matter will overturn our logic, however. Huh? I stand in front of Shigetsugu's house, mouth agape. That might not be the right way to put it. The house I've become so familiar with is no longer there. In its place, an empty lot. Not a single trace remains of the place Shigetsugu spent his final days. Well, of course it would be gone! Technically, he died like a month ago already. They wouldn't leave a rotting corpse in there for a month and have the house there. Fuck! I didn't think of that. A gust of wind blows through the lot of this as if to accentuate the emptiness I feel. At the same time, I notice a familiar figure. Oh no, look at those eyes. Look at those eyes! Rinka! It's numeral 4, you. His appearance hasn't changed since we last spoke, but his voice sounds somewhat younger. He somehow sounds even more serious than he did Saturday night. I can't! Your regret card vanished. Fuck. That's all I can muster. He casts his gaze to the ground before replying. His voice grows deeper than before. His eyes are as empty as they were in the crowd of fate. I have never heard someone say, I may make sure that you kill me in such a threatening tone. Like, normally it would be like, I will make sure to kill you, and not, I will make sure that you kill me. I'm not sure what he means, but it doesn't seem to matter to him. He turns his back to me before continuing. Wanna hold hands and play abandonware games? I don't know what that is. He ignores my plea.
僕はお前に必ず
I failed to catch his final words before he leaves, but the tone of his voice had changed yet again. It felt as though each and every word he said pierced me. As he fades into the sunset on the horizon, it reminds me of someone marching into a blazing hellfire. I guess I no longer support his sword anyway. Ah! Once home, all I can do is think about what you said. About how I don't have it in me to elect him. It's true that he asked me to do so, but I never even had the opportunity to apologize for denying him that request. I open up my card book once more.
これは残ってるんだ
I suspected his memories have returned. His mother's cooking was a regret born from his amnesia. There's no doubt it was rooted deep in his psyche, but also inherently different from the regret he held before losing his memories. By that logic, it's odd that his name card didn't disappear along with his regret after regaining his memories, but the name card is still there. If the cards are based on personal perception, then it makes sense. So two possibilities exist. The first is that he had no name before. The second is that he doesn't consider his previous name to be his real one. I'm leaning toward that idea. For example, he wants to distance himself from his previous self due to some bad experiences. Shigetsuka conjectured that his skill in combat came from being in an environment that demanded it. If that's the case, then he's likely been through all sorts of things that a normal person like me can't even imagine.
残酷だったのかな私は
Oh, I only have the second Sims. I can understand why he'd want to be eliminated to avoid remembering what all he'd gone through. He's likely struggling with his past right now. My own hesitation has caused him to suffer. It's something I should have realized with ease, yet I unconsciously avoided it. Eliminating another is the same as killing them. I was simply too scared to shoulder that sin.
ナオミがいたらなんて言うかな
What would I have done if she were here? If she shouldered that sin with me? Things are different from before though. I'm not sure how she'd react to me possibly eliminating
考
someone.
えても仕方ないか
You know what? I am scared.
わからないことだから
I am scared that what you did before, like the bombing and other stuff like that he will now do it again to force Rinka to eliminate him. That's what I think will happen. Because then she has to go like, no, you need to stop. Bless you. Thank you. Oh, I don't like where this is going. Jesus Christ. Once again, I seal the cap on my emotions. I opt to run away, all the while overlooking the future in store for me. It's just Monday. It's only Monday and this is how you act? How the fuck is it Friday now? Okay, Okay. In the end, I spend my days following that as normal. The only notable difference is everyone getting ready for the culture festival. I put a temporary hold on my efforts to gather information too. Mainly because I was curious about what you said. I expect him to make some sort of move against me, so I've been half-heartedly watching out for that. I made sure to fill Miharu in too. Somewhat ironic how I choose to not form a pact with her, and yet we're practically working together. We haven't shared the details of one another's cards, but that's about it. Miharu seems to be at something of a loss regarding how to proceed herself. As for Alan and numeral 11, I haven't seen either of them since our last encounter. Suddenly going from Monday to Friday is a very aggressive picture. That is true. That is very true. Alan did mention that he was trying to get his hands on information pertaining to that duo, so it's possible that both parties are scouting each other out now.
全然ダメだ
I decide to go for a walk through the park to take my mind off things. The culture festival starts tomorrow and ends Sunday. I shouldn't have to worry about being elected this week, so long as I don't do the same to anyone else. I hope that things settle down a bit during the culture festival, since I've been hitting a wall so much recently. I need to get out my frustrations today in order to accomplish that though. Sitting down on my favorite bench, I gaze at the buildings in the distance. A single crow flies past, which makes the clock tower that already stands out all the more captivating. I still find it hard to believe that this is the final destination park I mentioned. To me, it's a place I associate with memories of my childhood and my talk with Naomi a while back. I have to admit, I'm surprised Miharu didn't tear me a new one on Monday. Maybe something changed within her during Divine Selection. Actually, hang on. If anyone's changed, it's me. I'm able to talk things out with her now. The same might apply to her. I've noticed that we've been keeping fewer things from each other. People can't forcefully change one another, but the way we interact with others can change along with us. That said, Naomi never changed her attitude toward me despite how I treated her. She did everything she could to maintain the status quo. I understand the weight behind her offer to share responsibility with me far more than I did back then. She's like the intro of the Layton game. That tower's gonna be fake tower with another tower underground. Have you played? Like, I don't want to spoil anyone accidentally for the Professor Layton games. I know they're quite old, but still. Have you played the Professor Layton games? No, you haven't, right? I know that that's a plot. Listen, I'm gonna... You told me to, but I'm gonna... They have made HD versions for mobile for the first 3 games. I love the Professor Layton games. I still know most of them by heart. I will force myself through the English voice acting that I don't enjoy as much as the German version, but I could play them on stream again. Then I could also show you the game with the funny plot with the underground tower, which is a really big spoiler. Hey. Maybe you can change voice actors. No, you can only play the game in one language or the other. European version lets me play like English, German, French, Spanish and the like, but I cannot go German VA English text. Sadly, I wish I could. I mean, not everything in Professor Layton's voice, but like a lot of things. And I just love his German voice. It's very nice. The English voices are very much, oh, look, that reminds me of a puzzle. Oh boy, howdy, Professor. That was not a British accent, but like, just play with German text and ignore confusion. Ah, yes! Just translate everything on the go. What do you expect? They're more British than British people. I mean, yeah. Special stream. I play German game and you guys have to suffer if you cannot understand German. Boom. Perfect. I have played through the entire first game in like 6 hours. Before, so it is very possible to play the entire first game in one stream. For the second game, I think it took me like 11 hours in one go. The third one I have never been able to do in one go. The third one I'm also kind of always keeping for special occasions to replay because I love it so much and I cry every time I play it. British up to German stream. German stream, the game is German but I speak English or I speak German and half of you are just like, what the fuck? Now back to our Japanese game. My phone rings as if in response to my mumbling. I open up my text app only to learn that it's none other than Naomi. The text reads, what is it? That's odd. It's like she heard what I just said, but that can't be. I didn't butt dial her or anything.
Senpai.
Okay, Naomi, now you're scaring me. I hear a voice come from behind me. Part of me thinks I'm hearing things.
Naomi! すみません。そんなに驚かせてしまうなんて思いませんでした。
Event stream completely in German?
いや、それはいいんだけど。
Drinking stream completely in German.
どうして？準備は
I
大丈夫？
take a shot every time I say something that is not correct English. No, I take a shot every time I accidentally say something in English. No, whatever. No drinking streams. No.
準備も大部分が終わってるので、今日はみんなで
Drinking stream with me was just like drink something, immediately falls asleep, so it wouldn't be a very long stream.
その分、明日は早朝からなんですけどね。
Also, it wouldn't be very child friendly, would it?
リンカ先輩って遠足の前日にそわそわして眠れないって経験ありませんでしたか？
私はあんまり。
先輩らしいです。私はそんな子だったんです。それで緊張とか不安とかそういうので落ち着かなくって、実は私たまにこの場所に
Death Games on the other hand extremely shy.
リンカ先輩が教えてくれたこの場所
I don't know what you mean.
好きだ。
German without any English is pretty difficult if you're used to English. That is true. Especially because lately, like, I don't think I say full sentences in completely German anymore, which does sometimes give me trouble with people who don't speak as much English as I do in their free time. Especially at work, I sit there like, how do you say this in normal German? I don't know. She struggles to hide her shy expression, not to mention her flushed cheeks. I feel myself cracking a smile.
ナオミはリーダーだしね。大変だ。
Leader.
もうプレッシャーかけないでください。
Wow, so streams in Korean and German. And please hurry!
私って地味だから、ただでさえこういうの
My
初め
family
て
only speaks Spanish, so sometimes I run into the same
私
issue.
が引っ込み思案だったから。
The worst things for me is my mom always says her English sucks. She doesn't speak good English, right? Which is not correct. She speaks very good English. And like I tell her something and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to say this in German. And she's like, well, I can understand you if you say it in English. And then like the next day she will say something in English during a completely normal German sentence as well. I'm like, what do you mean? Yesterday you just told me that, oh no, I won't understand you if you suddenly start speaking English. And she does the same exact thing.
大丈夫だよ。
Multilingual problems. I know I shouldn't laugh, but there's just something inherently adorable about her. Part of me is envious of her ability to worry so much over something like this. But that isn't the main reason I find myself
初
smiling.
めて会った時からは考えられないね。
Oh.
もう恥ずかしいから思い出さないでください。
懐かしい。あれはまだ4月の最初で。
True, we don't actually know how we met Naomi. Flashback time! Wow, great. I thought they would keep talking for a while longer because I just stuffed my face with food. It was the Saturday after the first and second years had their entrance and opening ceremonies respectively. Class ended in the morning for us that day, but I was told to stay behind and finish all the homework I hadn't handed in. Not that it was my fault I hadn't done it. Gran was going to the countryside at the end of March, so I spent most of my time helping her with her luggage and making preparations for living on my own. Not to mention the time spent learning the ropes so Lion House could stay open. Those were all personal circumstances though. Bringing them up with my teachers felt like I'd just be making excuses, so I refused. Thus I ended up retreating into the library to get it all done. The place was empty because the new term had just begun, with the exception of one person. Oh, right, that... I've been wondering ever since we saw the new sprite, because Rinka said something about how she changed her hairstyle, but I could not remember what the old sprite's hair looked like. Now I know. That person was Hitsushi Naomi, who had just started her life at Amicha. She must be a real bookworm to visit the library already. That was my first impression of her. I made my way over to an empty seat, piling up all the homework waiting to be done. Naomi sat not too far from me, reading through a big pile of books. Thinking back, she must be a speed reader, considering she planned to finish the whole lot. I couldn't help but ponder aloud. She could have made some coffee and gotten cozy on her own bed to read if she just took them home. Granted, it wasn't my place to question her logic while I sat there to finish homework at the beginning of the new term. I'm not even sure how long we were in there for. All I remember was that it had grown pitch black outside. Just as I was about to leave to avoid being shouted at for staying past opening hours, I noticed that Naomi was still there. She wasn't reading though. She looked like she was searching for something. She made her way through the bookshelves, checking the spines one by one. I can't recall if she said those exact words or not, but I did hear some sort of panicked noise. Her expression and attitude made it all the more apparent. I want to go to a library this big so bad. It looks so inviting and cozy. I want. Her reaction forced me to remember my bad reputation. Mao said that rumors about me spread like wildfire, even over the most minor of things, so the first years may already be aware of me. Golden streaks in my hair, an intimidating expression and petite. It hurt to admit it, but most people recognize someone with such specific traits. Judging by her demeanor, it's obvious that she's too scared to talk. Everything is closed. Yeah. I don't even know if we have a library where I live. Wait, we do. We do, but right now it's the corona test site. Like for the vaccine, I think. I think someone told me that's literally where you get the vaccine. Right now, so, well, library is also closed for valid reasons.
もうちょっとすると見回りの先生来て追い出されるよ。手伝うなって言うなら帰るけど困ってるんでしょ?
On that note, vaccine is a very weird word, and for some reason my brain cannot wrap its mind, like I cannot wrap my mind around it that it's pronounced vaccine. Like, I always read it as vaccine and vaccinated until I heard someone say it out loud, and now it makes sense, but it still sounds weird to my brain. But it also sounds weird to my brain to, like, read it the way I read it before, like, vaccine? What's a vaccine, bro? What? Yeah, I'm getting vaccinated. You what? That's a problem with learning words by reading and not hearing them. I have fond memories of how funny her reaction to that was. Her eyes darted all over as she struggled to find a reply. Eventually, she stared right at me before speaking up. How do you say evacuate? Evacuate? Why? Please tell me it's evacuate and not evacuate or something. Apparently, she received the notebook from her mom as an enrollment gift. Okay, cool, jeez. Losing it that fast might earn her... a record or two. She'd probably get a prize in innovation for the way she did so too. That said, I felt bad for her. It didn't seem likely that anyone would stumble across it, considering how many books the library had. Things would only get more difficult as the days passed and people switched them in and out too. That's why I decided to help her out. A teacher eventually did come along to chase us off. I stopped searching at that point, instead opting to buy Naomi some time. An hour or so later, she managed to find it. Oh, that's a lot of time.
駅まで一緒に。
私と一緒にいるところを見られたら変な噂でも立つかもよ。
Yeah, this was back when she still had her glasses.
噂？どうしてですか？
だってさっき私のこと怖がってなかった？
怖がってた？いえ、あれはその恥ずかしくって。
They haven't been destroyed yet. Yeah, she wasn't beaten to the ground by an angry Indian guy yet.
あんななくし方普通しないじゃないですか。
Well, that's not a nice way to say it. But like, this was before Ellen was in the hospital and
それも
everything.
そうだね。
I felt dumb for worrying about my reputation. She didn't know and my appearance hadn't intimidated her. It wasn't all that a special moment when I think about it, but somehow I felt like it was.
獅子舞凛花、よろしくね。
It fucks me up that this song like starts to grow like really loud, and then there's this 1 second, like just a few seconds ago, where it's just like all very, very low in volume again.
獅子舞先輩、私は羊直美です。よろしくお願いします。
I think it took less than a week for her to become more casual around me. Oh, it's worth noting that she tripped over herself on our way to the station. There was nothing special about how we met, yet it was a memorable occasion to me regardless. I think it's nice. Sometimes you just have to be at the right place, in the right place at the right time. Both of us laugh as we talk about the past.
そういえばさ、なんで図書室で手帳を出してたの？
読んだ本の題名とか感想とかを書くようにしてるんです。私にとってはそれが日記の代わりで、
Oh, I appreciate the energy for
読
that.
む日によって感想が変わることもありますし。
It's taken 2 months, but now my curiosity is sated.
ねえ、ナオミ。
先輩、
月曜日に、
It makes sense considering how organized she
ねえ、
is.
ナオミ。
先輩、
月曜日に言おうと。
We both speak at the same time, interrupting one another. The embarrassment that follows leads to a brief silence. We do it a second time, but now Naomi smiles.
どうぞ。
文化祭が終わったら話そうって考えてたんだけどさ、この機会だし言うね。私がナオミを突き放しちゃったこと、ごめんね。私の勝手で遠ざけちゃって。
そんな。だってリンカ先輩は私のこと心配してくれたから。
I said darting all over again, but I make sure to keep my eyes on her. I need her to understand that she shouldn't hold back. Noticing that, she
私
nods.
はやっぱり弱いまま。だからね、もしナオミが良ければ。
Naomi cuts me off with a hug. She pulls me right in and squeezes hard enough that I feel each of her fingers caressing my back.
答えなんて決まってるじゃないですか。
Aww.
ありがとう。
すみません、つい。
How dare you! She pushes herself away from me, leaving her hands out in front of her. I grab both with my right hand and then place my left on top.
まあでも、まずは明日と明後日の文化祭。
And you should focus on surviving. Until then. Linka. We spend some time chatting away following that. Once the park is about to close, we leave. It really is strange. The time we spent together in the park was brief, but it made me feel far better than I had in a long time. Woo!
おはようリンカ。
おはよう。
Miharu arrives at school as I'm thinking back over the past week. We agreed to meet before moving on to help our class with stuff. Just waiting on Mao now, then the 3 musketeers will have gathered.
今週ずっと考え込んでいるように見えたけれど、少しすっきりしたようだね。
何か。ちょっとお散歩しただけ。
くすそうかい。難しい顔をするリンカも魅力的だけれど
There's a bear in the
気
bag
分転換をした方がいい。
with a wine glass.
ミハルがナオミのことを気にするなんて。
そうかな。僕もちゃんと彼女が頑張っていたことは認めているよ。
そうだね。
やっと笑ってくれたね。僕でも君を笑わせることができて安心しているよ。
Listen, Miharu, I like a compliment as much as the next person, but if you could stop putting yourself down while you compliment me, I would very much appreciate it.
大げさなんだから。
おはよ
Like, we are friends. Why wouldn't you be able to make me smile? Mao turns up 5 minutes late. Her face, not to mention the bags under her eyes, make it obvious that she's pretty
う。
worn
文化
out.
祭だから余裕と思ってつい家にある漫画を読み返しちゃった
Oh, I
よ。
feel it.
あー、
On that note, by the way, this week I have already read 4 manga volumes. So I'm getting back on track with my goal to read more books
平
again.
日だって同じでしょ。まあちょっと早めに待ち合わせしておいたし大丈夫。
Congratulations on the manga read. Thank you, thank you. Look at the bear! It's so cute! Any recommendations among the stuff you read? For that I would have to remember what I read this week. Hold on. What did I read this week? I don't know. I don't know the English names for literally any of these titles. No, wait, I know one. I read volume 3 and 4 of Kakegurui Twin, which is a spin-off of the normal Kakegurui. The normal Kakegurui, I think it's good enough. Like, it's not my most favorite kind of thing, but I think the story is interesting enough. And Kakegurui Twin, the spin-off with the blonde one, and like her story before the normal manga is pretty solid. Like it. I think the games are funny. Then the other one is I have no clue. The German name for some reason is also very different from the original title. So I have no clue what it's actually called. What else did I read? A shoujo manga which has like cryo sleepers. Like, oh, you suffer from a very horrible disease, we will put you into to sleep for like we will freeze you for a few years, and then suddenly your illness is fixed. And now it's a shoujo manga with like, okay, this girl's neighbor who she has a crush on is now the same age as her because he has been frozen for a time, and she is still in love with him, and now he's trying to see if maybe the feelings he has for her are like just brotherly affection or like actual love, and it's just a classic shoujo manga. It's alright, it's good, it's very nicely drawn. And the other one is a Yuri manga which is called, oh fuck, it's so long. A tropical fish yearns for snow. Ha! There we go. I didn't even have to Google it. I actually remembered it. A tropical fish yearns for snow, which has a lot of drama. Very little romance. Very much a lot of drama. Very much a lot of drama is not English, but it's really good. Hurts my soul. Do you love drama? I like it enough, but I also suffer. Like if it's very dramatic, I suffer. But on the other hand, like manga wise, I think I read basically everything there is out there. And when I actually list it, I can definitely see like where what I like most. But then again, I read like every single genre, so. Still waiting for my manga volume release on the 13th, but comes in the next few days hopefully. Oh, nice. Yeah, I bought a bunch as well. Like the cats are currently playing with a bunch of new boxes because I still haven't unpacked all the manga I bought. It is a lot. Like, I haven't caught up with all my reading yet, but I sure did buy more stuff. I don't even know where to put it yet. Isn't that great? I love spending money responsibly.
なんとも形容しがたい中途半端さだったね。僕たちのクラスの企画は占いの館という安直な名前なのはともかくとして、部屋を暗くして水晶を置いておけば雰囲気が出ると思っているようだね。予算がないから衣装が黒い布をまとうだけというのは仕方がないけれど、僕たちの仕事がお客さんの占い結果を印刷して渡すだけというのは面白みに欠けるよ。
みはる、今日毒がすごいね。
まあまあ、うちはそれなりに楽しめたよ。
Miharu was wrong though, it was very meh, to say the least. The fortune telling itself was done via PC program bought by one of the girls familiar with that sort of stuff, so that wasn't bad. You put your date of birth and some other info in, and then it spit out a result based around horoscopes. It was our job to print and hand out sad results to anyone who wanted them. She probably didn't get permission from the creator to use it for this, so the idea was a bit of a grey area. Then again, charging 100 yen per go probably tipped the scales.
しかし、これでやっと文化祭を堪
Wow,
能できるね。
100 yen, so someone prints you out something you could have put in yourself online as well,
羊
probably.
さんの喫茶店へ立ち寄ったら、僕は図書室で午後まで時間を潰して帰宅させてもらうけどね。
うちもまあでもみんな頑張ってるし、
You could at least get
せ
some
っかく
food.
だし校内一周はしと
Someone
かない
always
とね。
has nice food stalls.
はあ、
I think-
疲れたね。
I think what our class did one year was really good. Like, I've said it multiple times, but like I was in the arts and crafts kind of thingy, and what we did was like, what do you call it? Face painting for kids. Well, we also would do it on the adults if they wanted, but like mostly for the kids. And a friend of mine and I, we helped out on kids as well, but actually what we spent most of the day on was like turn one of our classmates and friends' face into a full-on tiger face. And if I may say so myself, it was professional, very professional. Like, you know, the kids had like tiny hearts and butterflies and stuff on their face, yeah? But what we did was paint his whole face like a tiger. And it looked awesome. And we didn't get enough recognition for that, yeah? I miss... Sometimes I do miss school, not for school itself, but just for the fun you had with some of the people there. Why are you competing with children? What do you mean competing with children? The parents could come in there while the children checked out the school, and they could say, hey, would you like some paint on your face for no cost at all? And then they would say, yeah, can you draw me a heart? And then we'd be like, yeah, sure. Do you want anything else? Yeah, can you draw me a flower? You were clearly bragging about how much better at face painting you were. No, I mean, no. We would paint on children's faces. But also, a friend and I spent a lot of time painting another friend's face with something that was way more complicated than just like a heart on the cheek. That's what I was trying to say. And it looked really good. I am not trying to compete with children. One of them wanted a peace sign. On his cheek and was like, huh, how do you mean? And then he was like, huh, do you not know what a peace sign is? And I was like, yeah, well, do you want like fingers showing a V? No, I mean the peace sign, duh. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure I draw you the right peace sign. Nah. We were doing something for the kids, not the kids could paint whatever they wanted, and then we would go, haha, actually I can draw better than you. I would not do that to a child. We actually end up walking around the whole school. Mao doesn't have it in her to skip stuff she has no interest in if she sees that people put effort into it. Not sure if I should praise her for that or not. We're used to her dragging us around like this since last year, so neither me nor Miharu are bothered. Not that we'd admit it to her, of course. Well, we do skip out on the stuff going on at the auditorium and courtyard, so you could argue it is more a case of self-gratification. There's still plenty to see and learn from going around and checking out different stuff at least. Speaking of, there's one major thing I noticed while we're doing so.
プラスチックのキャップのついた紙コップだね。
繁盛してるってことですな。校内で持ち運べるようにしたのは正解かもだね。
ナオミ、頑張ってるかな。
リータンも気になる？じゃ、そろそろナオリンの教室に突撃しよう。
We've passed by once already, so we know which way to go. The corridors have been gradually filling up with people as the day drags on. We make our way through the crowd with one destination in mind. Oh,
飾り付けしてある。
That's nice. The first year classrooms are up on the 3rd floor, with Naomi's being at the end of the corridor. There seem to be a lot of customers too, possibly thanks to the tickets they're selling at the reception area. One door is being used as the entrance, with the others the exit. A number of people making their way out, plastic cups in hand. It feels similar to what you see at the big coffee shop chains. Granted, this is largely meant to be used as more of a rest area. You can see the dripping procedure as well, so I guess that's part of the experience. There's a nice fragrance making its way to the hallway. That's a good sign. It's probably one of the reasons why it's so busy. You normally don't get the chance to enjoy something like this at school. I split the tickets between the three of us before we make our way in. These backgrounds are cute, they really are. I feel like I often don't appreciate weird backgrounds enough since I'm most focused. But I think they really... what they have is really good. Also, we actually get to see the ground on this one. She approaches one of the girls at the door to ask. Seems like this is where you pay if you don't have a ticket. 200 yen a cup makes sense when you take the budget into account. Aww, bad timing. They did the cleaning bowl with a dirty sponge and then clear with a better sponge. No, they drew on it with white chalk and then like cleaned out the part where they wanted it to say something. That is supposed to be white chalk. It's not dirt. You approach on... okay. You approach it is then. Miharu nods in agreement. We hand our tickets over and get some coffee. All the different flowers on each table as well. There's the same chairs we use for class, but they have nice tablecloths and decorations set up on the desks. Makes it an ideal spot to sit down and escape all the activity outside. The coffee's nice and fragrant, so they've definitely worked hard on it. Some teachers would be so mad at the waste of chalk. Yeah! I can just imagine Naomi doing her best to teach everyone how to brew it. I hope to get the chance to taste her coffee once she's back. God, you know when you cleaned off the board, and then you had to like wipe it down, and the dirty, disgusting water would like flow down your arm into your shirt or whatever. I just remember that. Disgusting. Disgusting. Spin-off.
ナオミはうちに通ってたし、小物を一緒に買いに行ったりしてたからかな。
そうだね。きっとリンカの影響だ。
It is nice. Ma asks for some milk and extra sugar. I take a peek into her cup to see the results. Her coffee is almost pure white. She takes a sip before changing the subject.
そういやさ、最近1年に転校生来てたりしてたっけ？白い髪の小さい子なんだけど、見覚えがなくって。朝来るときにちらーって見かけたんだよね。
転校生かい？わからないよ。僕はあまり他の学年のことは知らないからね。
私もマをよく見てるね。
リンカ？
いや、あの子は1回見れば覚えてるはずだよ。リータンに負けず劣らず尖ってたからね。高一にしてはちょっと幼い感じだけど、ボーイッシュな顔つきで可愛い感じ。あれはバレンタインにチョコもらいまくりですな。
そんなに印象的だったのかい？
そうだね。ナオリンのとこに遊び行くとき、どのクラスの子か聞いてみようか。
I'm sure this is someone completely new we've never seen before. All the dots connect as she describes this person to us. White hair, young looking, boyish. There's only one person I know who fits that description.
でも考えすぎかな。制服を着てたんでしょ？
そう。だから1年生の子って分かったんだけど。お、帰ってきたみたいだよ。
A few girls make their way through the entrance holding large plastic bags. Naomi's nowhere to be seen though. Mao heads to the back to ask again.
なんか、ナオリン知り合いがいるかもって挨拶しに行ったんだって。しかも、
No, 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 no. I shut my thoughts fall to here. I'm not overthinking things. I can't figure out why, but I just know.
ごめん。どっかで待ってて。
リータン？
This is fine. I make eye contact with Miharu. Looks like we're on the same page. I rush out of the classroom, leaving Miharu to deal with Mao. He's here. He used to come to my school. I make my way out to the hallway, which is as lively as ever. There's even more people than before, which leads to an even bigger line to get into the classroom.
ナオミは？
I don't see them anywhere. You should stand out regardless of how many people there are, so they must not be on this floor. Immediately after that, something I could never expect unfolds. A thunderous roar bursts down the hallway. The whole building shakes. It's a bit too short, too weak to be an earthquake though. Unrest starts to spread through the students and visitors though. None of them expected something like this to occur. Worry and confusion take hold. A sharp headache follows soon after. It's similar to the one I experienced when I first met you in person! Wait, that's right. Our meeting in front of Shiketsugu's house wasn't our first. My memory is still fuzzy, but my psyche is sending me warning signals. Either way, all I can do is head toward the source of the noise. I dash through the crowd, who have already begun to settle back down. It isn't until I am on my way. Yeah, to another floor that an evacuation order gets issued. Fuck. Ah! Ow, I also have a headache. Okay. It's gonna be a third bump for the roof thing. No! I don't want a second bump! Even. Naomi finds herself in pursuit of a young boy. She doesn't know his name, but the look in his eyes was familiar. While the class leader has to make sure everything runs smoothly, she decides to go with some friends to stock up and ensure they don't miss anything, as well as to take charge in the off chance that what they need is sold out. As expected, they couldn't find the exact same things they needed, but she was able to pick out suitable replacements. Fortunately, she expected that things might become hectic on their first day. Otto, thank you. Hold on. Hydrate time. She did everything she could to make sure things would go well, but it's rare for that to happen when doing such things for the first time.
And thank you for the posture check.
Curious about how things are going, they make their way back to school. Everything is fine until Naomi notices a boy with white hair amongst the students, and he's wearing the Amicha uniform. The most striking thing about him is that he would be easy to mistake for a regular student thanks to his gender-neutral appearance. However, Naomi is aware of his true nature. He's a participant in divine selection. He could very well be Rinka's enemy. Looking good, you. He looks all around as he explores the school. Naomi can only surmise that he is searching for someone, most likely Rinka. At first she considers getting in touch with Rinka, who is probably still at school, but her phone's battery has died. Out of all the things to forget, it had to be charging her phone. Why? Yay! Thank you so much for the resub. 2 months. 2 months already. I hope you enjoy your time. Also, hello! Good evening! Naomi has already convinced herself to take charge of the situation. She makes up an excuse to her friends and then begins to tail him. He resembles a predator searching for its prey. This isn't the same person she saw at the station the other day. Her gut is telling her that he's planning something here. Her heart races, every thump is palpable. Just then a sharp headache overtakes her. Her mind flashes back to the dreams she's had of Rinka's death, dreams she had told Rinka about. Those were memories of an event that had been undone. There's still too many question marks surrounding it though. Why it happened, how it happened, and the perpetrator behind it. Her memories begin to catch up with her as she tails the boy. Why is there suddenly a perpetrator involved? The answer is simple. She recognizes the look in her boy's eyes. The worse her headache gets, the more she comes to realize that her dreams are in fact reality. He makes his way to a less crowded area despite seeming to be in search of someone. It makes tailing him much more difficult, but Naomi refuses to back down. Eventually, he makes his way into a certain classroom. One not being used by any class for the culture festival. It's serving as a storage area for unused chairs and desks. Naomi is able to find an appropriate hiding spot thanks to that. However, her hopes of remaining hidden are quickly shattered. He's just standing there menacingly. She can't stifle her surprise at being called out to. Her exclamation may be silly, but she's aware that it is no time to be embarrassed over such a minor thing. While she's unsure what to say, he opts to carry the conversation forward. A chill runs straight down her spine. Her every nerve fires signals of fear upon confirmation that her dreams are reality. No!
あの人は僕を殺さなくてはならないんだ。
あなたは何を言っているんですか？
あの人は僕を生かしてしまった。僕を目覚めさせてしまった。僕は生きていてはいけない人間だ。たった一つの生き方しかできないから。
A light flashes through the room before Naomi can process what the boy means. A massive roar thunders alongside the light. Bruh. Bruh! The windows of the classroom crack under the atmospheric pressure of the blast, and Naomi is blown away without even a moment to scream. Once again, she has come face to face with a bomb. It is in this moment that she remembers her fate is inherently connected with the others. Why did she have to fall so sexy? Like when she's dying? Are you telling me Naomi dies?
お前の尾行には気がついていた。もともとお前をこの教室に連れて行こうと思っていたから助かったよ。この部屋の机の中に複数の爆弾を仕掛けていたんだ。お前を殺すために。
Being in such close contact with the explosion has marred her entire body with third-degree burns or worse. She's gotten pierced by several pieces of shrapnel that formed from the blast. The raw force of the blast has crushed her ribs. Her breathing is ragged, weak, and ready to fight at any moment.
選定の参加者っていうのは皮肉だね。こんな狭いところで爆発させれば、僕だってただでは済まないはずにもかかわらず、傷は頬の切り傷一つ。風向きや 壁になった机に偶然助けられ守られている。もう喋れないようだね。
Fragments of objects caught in a blast are smoldering in every corner of the room. The cracked windows eventually give in and collapse, allowing a large supply of oxygen to flow in. In response, even the tiniest of flames spark up. Naomi can only lay there as the heat washes over her in waves. All this while her senses slowly, steadily fade.
これだけ派手にやれば、あっちの方も問題なさそうだね。
Is that really what you want me to do? You want me to eliminate you now that I will be filled with anger that you killed a friend of mine?
まだ喋れたのか。さっきからそればっかりだね、お前は。
His frigid response is enough to douse the strongest of flames.
僕は死ななければならない。生きていちゃいけない人間なんだ。でもね、せめてその死には意味があると信じたい。あの人に殺されれば、僕の死にも意味があったと思えるんだ。きっと。あの人は僕を殺せなかった。このままではずっと同じ。だから、覚悟してもらう。しつこいな。もう間もなく死ぬだろうけれど、余計なことを話されると厄介かもしれない。人思いに殺してあげるよ。
Bruh. The boy approaches and clasps his hands around Naomi's thin neck. Not an ounce of hesitation or worriness in his voice, and yet... Oh. Even on the brink of death, she can notice the grief lurking behind the fierce look in his eyes.
黙れ。
He crushes her throat before breaking her neck. The sound of her bones breaking gets muted by the wood crackling in the flames. He notices footsteps outside the classroom. His eyes focus on the door.
ちょうどいいところに来たね。
Even Rinka's cries are overwhelmed by the roaring fire. The fire alarm rings through the PA system, warning both students and visitors of the situation at hand. It isn't necessary for me to understand what is going on, though. I'm bearing witness to the sea of fire that caused it to go off. Inside the room are two figures cloaked within the flames. I can't process the situation immediately. The smoke bellowing from the room burns my throat as I struggle to speak. You're right, though. If we eliminate him now, what he has done should become undone. But that'd be kind of wild. Someone dies and then suddenly they're alive again. Well, I'm even better off not knowing what happened. Oh wow, she actually does scream for once. Her body is lifeless like a puppet without support, and her body is being held by a boy, you. He steps away from her and her body collapses to the floor. I dash toward her in an attempt to catch her. I have no chance to reach her in time, though. Just as her body touches the floor, the flames swarm all over her uniform. I press on, though. Nothing will stop me from getting to her. Or so I think. Before I know it, I fall on her behind. It was Yu's doing. He approached and knocked me down without me noticing. Who else would have done it? Rinka?
僕は昔から英雄になるようにと刷り込まれてきた。英雄なんていうのは使う側にとって都合のいい言葉に過ぎない。そんなことは分かっていたけど、僕にはそれしかない。両親を知らず、友人を知らず、仲間も知らなかった。継続的に与えられる命令をこなしていれば、僕は生きることができた。 わけわかんないこと言うなよ。ナオミはナオミに何をした？お前を殺した時も僕にとっては命令の一つだった。無価値な毎日の延長で僕は死ぬ。僕には僕自身にとって無価値な英雄という言葉が贈られるはずだった。僕は変わってしまったんだ。救急、ナオミ、助けなきゃ。ナオミ、
Her neck is broken, Dinka.
価値ある人生というものを知ってしまった。でも記憶を取り戻した僕はそんなものは望めない。ならせめて僕はお前に価値ある死を送られたい。そう死ねるのは人間だけだ。僕は人間だ。人形なんかじゃないんだ。僕を殺して運命に決着をつけてみせろ。ふざけんな。
Nothing he's saying registers. Naomi's the only thing I'm concerned with. Not even the flames can distract me from that. Beating back the heat, I rise to my feet. I reach my hand through the smoke out
好
toward
き
her.
にすればいい。僕たちはこれで死ぬことはない。最後にこれだけ言っておくよ。ナオミを。僕だって簡単に殺されるつもりはないよ。ナオミを返せ！
He was no longer in my line of sight. I don't care about that though. There's only one thing on my mind. One thing I understand the moment I make contact with her lifeless body. It's too late to save her. Fuck off! Konbanwa! I will konbanwa you into the sun! Alas, such is fate. I will shove fade up your fucking ass. It's one of those Genshin, man, it's not. Stop.
炎の中で君はやっと真実を思い出したのだろう。もう見ないふりはできないね。
I don't want to know.
今夜は多く喋るのは無粋なようだね。それでは簡潔に行こう。ようやく運命と向き合う時だ。
I noticed a bomb inside the bag. The specifics are beyond me, but a compromised tube and a bag. The events come back to me in slow motion. Sparks fly from it, causing the liquid inside the bag to spark. An explosion follows, swallowing the train in flames. I remember exactly who was responsible.
僕は英雄になるんだ。
This was before I had my card book, so I shouldn't have understood what he was saying. But I understand now, though I'm not sure why. The explosion sent him flying first. The salaryman beside him followed almost instantly. The train was full due to everyone making their way home from work, so this was likely the ideal time to cause the most damage. The smell of burnt fat ran through the train. Naomi! My first instinct was to shield Naomi. I felt a tremendous impact on my back, which sent both me and Naomi flying. The train had stopped by this point, but panic had spread amongst those not taken out by the blast. Meanwhile, my body had been devastated. I couldn't tell what state I was in. All I knew was that I wouldn't make it. As such, the only thing on my mind was Naomi. If I wasn't going to make it, then I'd do all I could to make sure Naomi did. She had hit her head after the blast, however rendering her unconscious. I couldn't say for sure whether or not this was a mere coincidence. The boy responsible for all this landed right in front of me after the blast. The flames continued to consume both of our bodies.
僕は英雄にふざけるな。
I'm not sure if we actually exchanged words then. It may just be something I made up as a coping mechanism.
お前は英雄なんかにはなれない。人間ですらない。ただの人形だ。
The boy used his remaining strength to extend his hands to my throat, and he crushed it. At that moment, the flames lit up again, blowing him out of the train. Naomi's screams called out to me while I was on the brink of death. As the fierce flames in the train grew fiercer, the fire in my soul flickered and faded. Those were the memories I had forgotten. The truth locked away within my subconscious. It's no wonder my cause of death card never materialized when I thought I simply got caught in a fire. The fire wasn't what killed me. It was suffocation after having my throat crushed. I hear the sound of rain outside as I wake up. Looking out the window, I notice how dark it is despite the time. Small droplets of rain pour endlessly from the sky. It's the beginning of the rainy season. Lethe, who dislikes the rain, is curled up in a corner of the room. I struggle to remember exactly what happened between now and yesterday. Apparently, Miharu rescued me from the flames after I fell unconscious. How I got home is a mystery, but it looks like I didn't bother to change or even crawl into bed. When I woke up, I was on the floor. Yesterday's events were no dream either. Checking on my phone, it made the news, though without much prominent coverage. It doesn't seem like it's being reported as a terrorist attack. I'm not sure why. Possibly because they haven't finished the inspection yet. How they're reporting it isn't of any interest to me though. I already know the most important consequence of it. The fire was put out before it could cause any serious damage. I made it out with only some minor burns, but there was one casualty in the end. One person incredibly dear to me. Naomi. Out of all the people there, only one lost their life. And out of all the people there, it had to be Naomi. The more I repeat that to myself, the more I try to pretend it never happened. Why? Why her? What did she do to deserve it? That's all I can think. I don't think you would be able to say anything after touching his close so close to him. Did you actually get killed by the fire? Well, that card did not vanish. Naomi died because of me. Because I got her involved. I'm to blame for her death. This wouldn't have happened if I pushed her away. This wouldn't have happened if I had never asked her to shoulder the burden with me. If I weren't so weak then. None of that is relevant anymore though. They are nothing but what ifs. What I'm facing right now is reality. What I'm facing right now is my own fate. My body gradually loses strength. Today I put up a sign regarding Lionhouse indefinite closure. At first since the day it opened. Well, we don't have the third card. We cannot eliminate him. Even if we wanted to, we cannot eliminate him right now. That's the problem. Just hearing Parker's voice annoys me. Oh, does it now? Just now? After 5 weeks? Having been forcefully brought to the court of fate, all I care to do is stare at my own feet. My mind is elsewhere. Shut the fuck up, Federico.
なんだってめえその反応。
あら、威勢がよろしいですわね。もしかして今宵はあなた様が
虚勢だろ
う。おいおい、いい加減あんたたちだけを空気にするのはよしてくれよ。
So Naomi has to die and now we get to see number 9? And it's a white man?
そろそろ俺も混ぜてくれよ。ちなみに俺も12番のお兄さんに1票だ。職業柄人の嘘には敏感でね。
探偵か何かか。
さあね、それは内緒さ。俺が不利になっちゃうのはお断り。
たく、うるせえ連中だ。いい加減もういいだろ。この連中の会話ってのは知性が足りなくていけねえ。
言うね、マダム。
メルシー僕とでも答えておこうかい。
お好きな方でどうぞ。
かっか、食えねえやつだが歯ごたえは良さそうだ。
Shut up. Just shut up already. I don't give a crap about any of this. Not even Miharu's voice can make me care. Nothing she says reaches me.
賑やかなのは結構ですけれども、終わりがなさそうですわね。この辺りで始めますわよ。それでは今宵も女神の選定を始めますわ。回りなさい。運命の大時計。
The clock begins its usual procedure, confirming each participant's intention for the night. I ignore it completely.
おやおや。
The clock finishes its revolution.
6度目の選定にしてついに脱落者ゼロですわね。皆様が検討なさっている証拠なのでしょうか。
かもしれないね。
それでは今宵の脱落者はなし。これをもって選定を終了といたしましょう。
Divine selection continues regardless of my emotional state. I'm dragged back to reality from the dream world in spite of my desire to never wake up. 6th week. Achievement unlocked. It's Monday apparently, and it looks like it's raining. School? Who cares? Not like I have to go, we've got the day off. As if I care about that. I see Naomi's smile in my mind's eye. Memories of the coffee we made together here come back to me, as does the sweet taste of the cookies she would bring. I ruined all of that. Smothering myself with my blanket is my way of escaping reality. I hear someone ringing the door buzzer, but I ignore it. The same goes for my phone. Any movement at all requires more effort than I want to give. I don't care about anything anymore. Divine selection might as well be over for me. I'll just wait for someone to eliminate me, whether it be this week or next. Miharu won't do it even if I ask her though. But maybe Ellen would. What the fuck? A familiar voice rises above the sounds of pouring rain. They must be shouting pretty loud for me to hear them up here. But I don't care. I close my heart off once more. I somehow drag myself over to and open the window, a choice that keeps me from attaining true scum status. After I manage that, I force myself to the town's ceremony hall. I'm not quite sure how to approach Naomi's family, but I do manage to at least give them my condolences. Now that I'm here, I realize there's a part of me that can act somewhat naturally despite everything. It's probable that I would have bothered to attend Naomi's funeral if it wasn't for Mao. This is a place to say our farewells. Tears are shed by many, myself included. It's an odd experience. I almost feel like there are two sides to me. One side is distraught and the other feels nothing at all. The sobs that fill the venue drown out the sound of rain falling. A lot of amateur students are here, Naomi's classmates, I'd wager. The role she took on for the culture festival must have played a big part since she enrolled Ameri 2 months ago. In that time, she touched everyone with her sincerity. And yet, at the very same culture festival is where she lost her life. I'm not even sure if I have the right to cry. She never would have died had I not gotten involved in divine selection. She never would have died had I not brought her to Lionhouse to help with the cultural festival. She never would have died had I not spoken to her that day at the library. That's not how this works, Rinka! If you really want to blame yourself, then blame yourself for not eliminating you. Then she would not have died. She wouldn't have died. She wouldn't have died. She wouldn't have died. I should have been the one to die. I'd never be able to get over this regret. I have nowhere to vent my despair. Sad doesn't begin to describe the situation, not when someone like her dies so young. There's no doubt that everyone here wishes this were all a bad dream. I'm sure none of us have come to terms with reality, that Naomi's no longer a part of our lives. Even I haven't accepted it, despite being a witness to the event itself. Why did things turn out this way? If this is all due to fate, then there's nothing I despise more.
Naomi.
Listen, I don't... Okay, they're traumatized, but please, one of you two, get it in your head that if you eliminate you should be able to make this not have happened. Before I realize it, my two disparate sides merge back into one. I am unable to hold back any longer. I weep openly in public.
ナオリンうちだって悲しいよ。悲しくない人なんていない。ナオミ
Naomi's funeral ends in a blink of an eye. Lacking the will to eat, I dive right back into bed when I get home. I won't cry because I believe we can get her back. I'm not sure when I fell asleep or what time I woke up. A distinct emptiness assaults me as soon as I do wake up, though. I dreamt of all the times I spent with Naomi. None of that means anything now, they're just past events. In this moment, I truly understand how it feels to have regrets that are lodged in the past. Yeah, we just need to find out his regret now. Then we would have all 3 of his cards. It feels like foul play that his card just goes poof. Things are moving along at the school. They're finally going to carry out investigations under the assumption that it was a terrorist attack. As such, it'll be closed for another week. That's perfect for me, considering it takes all my energy just to get out of bed. Under normal circumstances, I would have relied on my gran here, but it just so happens that the person she's taking care of collapsed on Saturday night. She's busy helping them. Oh! That's a difference, right? Another day passes by. Another day of me doing absolutely nothing. Mishima Miharu's course of action in the face of recent events is a stark contrast to that of Shishima Irinka's. I was mainly impacted by Mao's awareness. Yeah, extremely. The despair displayed on Rinka's part has only served to fuel Miharu's determination. She may have found Naomi unpleasant, but at no point did she wish for things to play out as they did. While the high school portion of Amateur may be closed, the middle school and university campuses are operating like normal. This allows Miharu to make use of the library. Right now, her priority is to put everything into perspective. In this regard, numeral 4 is of the utmost priority. Miharu is aware of his real name, Yu. She overheard Rinka muttering it to herself before. She is also aware that he's the one responsible for Naomi's death, having planted bombs in her classroom. For whatever reason, he seems desperate for Rinka to kill him too. Today is the first day she truly begins to take divine selection seriously. Miharu has no grasp whatsoever on Yu's background. Even so, she makes a decision to perform as much research as possible. Her claim that she would give her life for Rinka is no lie. She has no intention of it ever becoming a lie. If she has ever been sure about anything in her life, it has died. Should her actions fail to protect Rinka's smile, there's no point in taking them. Miharu has very few cards pertaining to participants other than Rinka in her possession. While she may possess a keen intellect, she's but a mere high school student. Without a reliable source, all she can do is rely on newspapers, books, and the internet. Numeral 4, name you. Numeral 6, numeral 9! This is the man who spoke for the first time during the 6th election. Numeral 12, name, Alan. And finally, numeral 12, cause of death. This is all the information she has pertaining to participants other than Rinka and herself. While she does have an idea regarding numeral 11's regret, she has been unable to obtain a card out of it thus far. Of the remaining participants, Alan seems the ideal target, considering he's already eliminated 3 others. The only issue is that his regret remains a mystery to her, plus the fact that she's yet to meet him face to face. That said, researching him is easier than the others comparatively due to his celebrity status. He's been featured in several magazine interviews and TV shows. Apparently, he's from an area in southern India where English is the primary language. In that case, all she has to do is look up and translate any words or phrases she doesn't understand. Having found her priorities, Miharu begins her research. Determined as she may be, she cannot afford to lose sight of the bigger picture, and thus begins Miharu's quest for information. On her way off campus, Miharu notices the silhouette of an unfamiliar man. She errs on the side of caution and takes a different route in order to keep her distance from him. He opts to call out to her anyway. Miharu doesn't respond. Instead, she allows him to approach by staying on guard. As she does so, she finally recognizes him. It's numeral 9.
怖がっているわけじゃなさそうだ。そうだな。動揺していないアピールでもしてるって感じかな。
どちらでも構わないよ。僕の名前から場所を特定はできないはずだ。
Hibinata Miharu doesn't exist technically. You may be able to link the name to Mishima Miharu when looking through Amicha's records, but that is no simple task. In that case, he may have been waiting for Rinka. It's possible he received her named card during the initial distribution. Miharu quickly realizes that isn't the case though. It was numeral 8 who received the card and she has already been eliminated. She was eliminated by Alan, so numeral 9 being in possession of the card would make little sense. This leads Miharu to another conclusion.
もしかして君は僕の未練を持っているのではないかい？
そこまで察しがいいと損の方が多いんじゃないかな。君の未練には驚かされたけれど、そのおかげでこの高校を特定することができたのさ。
Oh. We don't actually get to see her regret though, right? No.
とはいえ、今はその凛花獅子舞とは仲違いしているようだけど、選定初期に君たちが知り合いだということは分かっていたからね。このアメチャ女子高校に在籍している生徒を調べさせてもらった。ミハル・ヘビナタという生徒はいなかったけれど、ミハルという生徒がいた。顔を見れば一発でわかるさ。
一体何をご所望しているのかな。凛花とはすでに決別しているけど、他の参加者に情報を教えるつもりはないよ。
分かってるよ。俺が凛花を脱落させたら、君の情報を知られるリスクがあることぐらい。
Miharu's involuntary reflex is to shoot him a glare. How could she not after someone dares to bring up the idea of eliminating Rinka? He doesn't quite interpret it that way though.
もっと勘違いはしないでくれよ。俺は今のところ君を脱落させる気はないんだ。俺は君と交渉しに来たのさ。君は一度11番の女性を出し抜いたことがあったよね。それを見込んだんだ。意味がわかるね。
まさかとは思うけれど、協力を持ちかけているのかな。
I do not like this guy.
でも、どうして今なんだい？
俺は状況を静観していたんだ。放っておけばある程度までは人数が減るだろうからね。
His approach sounds similar to Miharu's. He may actually be cunning despite his attitude.
誰も脱落しない回を待とうと決めていたんだ。膠着状態になったら動き出すとね。
Hello. There's a cat at my feet.
3回目くらいでそういう機会は来ると思っていたけど思ったよりもずっと女神の選定というのは激しかったようだ。
Kid time. Cat was like, touch me. Then I touched the cat and then he was like, no, don't touch me. And ran away.
なるほど。君の話は納得できないものではなさそうだ。
Just cat things.
だけど、まだ君に協力するとは言えないよ。
俺の情報を知りたいとかかな。
そうだね。僕は君のことを全く知らない。対して僕は君に使命も未練も握られている。この状態で協力関係というのは難しいんじゃないかな。
Miharu decides to lie through her teeth. In reality, she already knows his cause of death. Telling him she knows nothing seems like the best way to make things proceed smoothly.
俺が正直にミハルの情報を持っていることを明かしたことじゃ不足かい？
No.
死因さえ調べれば君を脱落させられるぞとも聞こえるよ。
おや失礼。そんな意図は全くなかったんだ。とはいえ、俺もさすがに自身のカードを明かすわけにはいかない。ここらで俺の本音を話すということで納得してもらえないかな。
確約はできないけれど聞こ
う。Noticing her taking a step closer toward him, numeral 9 continues.
俺はこの選定が間違っていると思っているんだ。君も分かっているだろう。この選定は他人を犠牲にすることを厭わない人間が多く混ざっている。
The inspectors make me think so much about relatives to pass away already. I say good night. Aww. Okay, you have a good night. I won't be going for much longer. But you have a good night. I don't know if you're actual Florida man or imposter Mississippi man.
相手を脱落させれば選定期間中の行動がなかったことになるのをいいことに、選定の参加者ではない人間に暴力を振るったり人質にとって脅迫したりというのが横行している。この行為は悪だ。
Oh, Florida man, what are you? Are you trying to tell me what is just and what is not?
極めつけは土曜日の事件だ。
知っているんだね。
女神の選定との関与を疑わない方がどうかしているだろう。
Florida man has a concept of morality? Yeah, I don't trust him though.
4番の少年は無国籍テロ集団通称ヌルと関係があるという仮説が出ている。この学校を狙った意味はまだ分かっていないが、人が集まるライブ会場なんかも無差別に狙う連中だ。人さえいればいいのかもしれない。
What if you keep calling a Florida man? Is he French?
もっとも俺は君たちがアメ茶に通っているからこそ選定参加者への宣戦布告をしたのだと思っているよ。降伏しなければこうなると。もっと被害を拡大させるとでも言いたいのかな。
Miharu's eyes widen when she hears that. She never expected to walk away from this with clues leading to Numeral 4's identity. Null is a terrorist group that operates on a global scale. So little is known about them that it's common for smaller, unrelated groups to use their name for recognition.
不幸中の幸い、死者は一人で済んだらしいけど、人数なんて関係ない。なあ、話がそれてしまったね。俺が言いたいことはもう分かったかな。
He continues to speak, his tone serious.
俺は正義の人がこの選定で生き残らなければいけないと思っている。
I don't trust people who talk about justice.
それが君なのか、俺なのか、君の友人のリンカなのかは分からない。だが今までの行動から考えて、その3人以外は考えられないだろう。それに君の方が俺よりも生きるべき人間だと判断したら、勝ちは譲るつもりでもいるさ。
Oh, you don't. Miharu doesn't want to win. Not only is he making sense, but he doesn't seem tricky to deal with. Of course, she isn't foolish enough to believe that everything he says is the truth. The fact remains that numerals 3, 4, 11, and 12 are all formidable foes. He may serve as a means toward their elimination. It bears mentioning that his beliefs on this whole matter mean nothing to her, especially when Rinka was among the 3 names he just brought up. What's most important to her right now is the possibility of obtaining more information on numeral 4 through him.
どうだい？俺と協力関係を結ばないかい？
Now he's in a position for her to choose.
君をすべて信用したわけではないけれど、僕にとって悪くはないかもしれないね。
With a quick huff, she continues her act. Ideally, she will get as much information on numeral 4 as she can right away, but that's unlikely.
いいよ。君と協力する。ただし、僕が関係を破棄した方がいいと判断したら、いつでもそうさせてもらうよ。
わかった。もちろん最後まで信用してもらえるよう努力はするけどね。それが落としどころなら文句は言わない。早速だが、実は他にも協力者がいてね。ついてきてほしい。
Thank you, Duolingo. His statement leaves Miharu curious. Is it someone unrelated to divine selection? But it's dangerous for her to follow him when knowing so little about him. She risks losing his trust should she refuse. He may be one to keep an eye on, but he's also not likely to betray her so fast. With that in mind, she makes sure her phone has plenty of battery remaining before following him. Eventually, they reach a bar in Shinjuku's Kabukicho district named Milk Crown. It's not the sort of place one should enter in a school uniform, but Miharu seems unfazed, likely thanks to a job working at a maid cafe. Miharu figures he will not betray her right away, but she quickly realizes how wrong that assumption is!
てめえ、他の仲間を連れてくるとは言っていたが、なかなかふざけてるじゃねえか。
おいこいつ
My daughter pinned the drink of fluid the man forgetting it and towards her.
君たちは
They are the only customers in the small bar. Both are already drinking something. One drink is the color of oak and the other is pink. Miharu is used to serving alcohol at her job, so she can tell that one is whiskey and the other some sort of cocktail. Granted, their drinks are inconsequential to the situation at hand. Both parties expected Numeral 9's accomplice to be somewhat unrelated to divine selection, it seems. He whispers to Miharu, also she has already gotten a general grasp of the situation.
おいスチール、これどういうことだ。こいつはミハルヘビナット。
Big
俺た
lanky
ちの
muffin
敵
man
じゃ
drinks
ねえのかよ。
cocktails.
うっさいフェデリーコ、チッタ落ち着けよ。
おい、スチールと違って俺のは本名なんだぞ。
Tan
ミハル
tan!
に名前を呼んでんじゃねえぞ、オデット。
そいつは失礼したぜ。ムッシュカルミナーティ。
オデット、てめえ。
賑やかで悪いな、ジョーちゃん。私はオデット・マランソンだ。
Okay, thanks.
まさかこんなところで会うとは思わなかったが、私らはこのスチールってうさんくさいやつから協力関係を持ちかけられたんだ。
あんたたち一体どういう了見だ。
俺が聞きてえよ。
Scale?
ミハルって言ったな。あの時、私
Why
は
did
随
it
分
say
驚かさ
scale
れた
for
もん
his name just now?
どう答えればいいのかわからないよマダム・マランソン。
その顔じゃ随分動揺してるみたいじゃねえか。満足だ。これで4度目の時の借りを返せたってところかな。オデットでいい。そこに座りな。
Brain localism.
まずは話してみないと何もわからないだろ。
アルコールは遠慮するよ。僕は未成年だからね。
日本の高校生ってのは真面目だね。ま、いいだろう。
There might even be an error in the therapy text. Miharu makes her way toward the bar, her heart thumping faster and faster. She may be calm and composed more often than not, but a situation like this does not allow for that. Try as she might to find the right way to act, the answer continues to elude her. The information she has committed to memory regarding Odette is of no help either. She's impossible to read face to face. Steele does not control the situation, she does.
ま、これでミハルによく似た女じゃないってことは証明されたか。若干だがカードブックの光が漏れてたぜ。私らの使命のカードがちゃんと増えてるはずだ。
そのためにあんなことを。
だけじゃないさ。なあ、スティールさんよ。
はは、ここで俺に話題を振るのかい。
たった一人しか生きられないこの女神の選定で協力しようって話をしてんだ。信頼が大事なのはわかるだろ。私らは大切な名前を晒したんだ。勝利条件の一つである名前をな。あとはわかるな。おっと嬢ちゃん。
Odette's approach does not feel like she's pressuring anyone. She simply asks in a calm and even tone, all while swirling her glass of whiskey. Miharu takes this as an opportunity to judge her character. She figures that Odette is not all brawn and no brains, based on what she heard from Sonia, but she never expected her to be this hearty and talkative. Once Odette heads off the milk, Miharu drips in some syrup and takes a sip.
OK だ。俺の名前も教えよう。
物分かりが良くて助かるぜ。ここで渋ったら。てめえを次の標的にしなくちゃいけなかったからな。
たく、勝手に自分で決めやがって。こいつかミハルが俺たちの情報を持ってたら。
そん時はま、次の選定までにジョーちゃんたちのカードを集めればいいだけだ。
Numeral 9 takes a deep breath before opening his mouth.
俺はスケール・ジョーンズ。職業やらは内緒だが、血液
Scale
型は O 型だ。
Jones.
これでいいか？
No, your name's Florida Man.
上等だ。
Odette's taller than him. That's a foul move. Miharu's card book shines the moment he reveals his name. It serves as proof that he's telling the truth. Odette downs the rest of her whiskey before demanding another glass. Miharu may not have had any alcohol before, but she's aware that whiskey is at least 40% proof. The smell alone is enough to put off most people her age, but seeing her dad gulp it down without issue gives her a genuine shock.
おいフェデリーコ、日本製のウイスキーってのもいけるぜ。お前もどうだ。
いいんだよ。たまには甘いカクテルも飲みたいんだ。もっともこの店にはろくなワインがなかったからなんだけどよ。
俺も何かいただこうかな。強いの。
And he really turned to pressure into giving up info? Probably. There's a pang of anxiety in Scale's voice as he orders a drink that Mihado is unfamiliar with. A wave of relief washes over him as he takes a swig, seeing that Mihado comes to understand what people mean when they say that they need a drink to get by. No normal person could keep up with someone like Odette. Federico seems to be hiding in her shadow, but he's not normal either based on how composed he is despite being around her. Mihado keeps her mind occupied in this manner as a means to keep her wits about her.
さあ、ジョーちゃん。兄ちゃんにどう言われてここまで来たのかは知らないが、メンツを見たらどういうことか察しはつくよな。
性格が悪いやつだ。こいつこうやって組む価値があるかを値踏みしてるんだぜ。
忠告ありがとうと言っておこうかな、フェデリーコさん。でも心配いらないよ。僕、スケールさん。この連合は4番の少年を脱落させるためのものではない。僕たちは目下アラン・スコーピオンの脱落を目的とする。間違い。
素晴らしい。
He seems to be enjoying himself more than he was a few moments ago. Mihano cannot help but wonder if the alcohol has started to do its job already. Aha. It's a fade to black though. Aha. No. No. This was a fade to black. This is perfect for me. This is perfect for me. Miharo is making friends! Not the kind of friends you would want your child to have. No, 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 no. I assure you, those are not the friends I want her to have. No, 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 no. Is that what you want? No. No, she has friends. She has us already. She doesn't need any other friends. You want her to not only... That's not what I meant. That is not what I meant. No. Ow. That's not what I meant when I said I want her to be friends. Mihano doesn't need your peace. No. Oh, fuck. I have no clue where this is going. No clue. That's all I'm going to say. I have no clue what's happening. I have no clue what's happening. All I know is that we've been going for almost 3 hours, which means I will take this as a chance to end the stream here and try to keep myself from reading up on the game and continuing it unspoiled, because I am deeply upset. This is a decent stopping point. We covered a lot of ground. Yes. Hello! I'm just about to end the stream, but hello! Okay, oh god, alrighty. Oh, yeah. You missed out. Okay, hold on. Here's the ending screen. And here is our ending song. There we go. And then here's the stream message? What? The raid message. Jesus Christ. The raid message. And maybe for once I will actually also copy it the right way. And then I say we go raid Blue, who is playing Friday Night Funkin', which I think is a rhythm game. I think I heard some talk about it. I think it's a rhythm game. So let's absolutely throw him off his combo by raiding him. Does that sound like fun? I think that sounds like a lot of fun. You do the beep bops there. It's a rhythm game. Nice. Then let's do that. Let's go destroy some beep boops. Thank you so much for coming tonight, everyone. I will see you all on Friday. Thank you. And bye bye.